Hey there, Leo. So, welcome to your pick a card for what your Akashic Records want to tell you to do with 2021. So, basically, this is going to work for any of you that have Sun, Moon, or Rising sign, so your ascendant sign in Leo. I've also programmed these readings through the Akashic Records to be relevant at different times during 2021. So you might come back to this reading and you might find a different pile is relevant, and then that's also important for you to look into. So they're dynamic within 2021. The other way that I've programmed these so that they can be dynamic and flexible and interactive and kind of multi-dimensional is essentially because we all have Leo in our birth chart somewhere, and we don't just have our birth chart, we have our solar return chart and our progress chart. These three charts are all really important, and so you might find that you might not have Sun, Moon or Ascendant in your solar return in your natal chart, but in your solar return, so the chart that you have just for your birthday in 2021, that might be relevant. And also your progress chart, you might find you have something significant Leo there as your soul's progressing on that journey. Regardless of all that as well, you might find that you're looking into a theme that has a real kind of Leo energy. So that might be creativity, that could be showmanship, that could be something to do with children, it could be something to do with putting your own artistry out in the world, or it could even be to do with generating a following or an audience to do with you, and many, many other things. Anything that essentially has a Leo theme, regardless of your astrology, you could come to these videos to see if it can give you guidance specifically due to that energy theme that's Leo based in your life, and see what guidance you get. Essentially, my point is these readings super flexible, super adaptable. Just use them in tune with you, because it's all designed to be flexible, so that you are putting more responsibility on your own psychic skills than what the psychic reader is saying, by combining them and using them all in these diverse ways. Cool. So just before we go any further, I just wanted to a little bit of a theme with the astrology that will be going off for Leo, and particularly Leo ascendant. This always makes sense because it just makes sense of how these planets will more than likely be in these positions in your chart. If you're a Leo ascendant, it can be slightly different with Sun or Moon, but essentially the vibe that all you Leos will get anyway, particularly if you really resonate with that archetype, is there is this huge theme to do with your personal one-on-one relationships, both in romance, in work, in even friendships, anything where you have a one-on-one relationship with somebody. There's a real emphasis with that to do with your life purpose, how your reputation in the outer world, and also your career, and that kind of place where you are constantly striving and building and climbing up a mountain to a specific goal that you have. Okay, so that area of life, also with relationship one-on-one, is really going to coming into some very dynamic, sometimes intense, sometimes challenging, but ultimately by the end of year incredibly creative kind of creative aspects are playing off in this way. So specifically how I feel like would be a good way to consider it is for you guys, I just really got beginning, middle and end. There is really so much like a beginning and a middle and an end in 2021. So regardless of when you listen to it, just pay attention to what happened at the different stages of 2021, because I see them as all incredibly connective, particularly for you Leo more than any of the other signs. And that's just something channeled from your Akashic Records as just a get-go as a general. There's also this real thing as well about understanding who you are in the world and who you are in one-on-one relationships. That's a massive, massive theme. And like I say, who you are in the world, so that can be your job, career, life purpose, the reputation that you have, that is really going to be coming under focus at the same time as your one-on-one interactions, and basically they're both going to be interconnected together. So really pay attention to that. So you might have people that stimulate, either for better or for worse, feelings, thoughts, actions or situations in your external life, particularly career, life purpose, any goals that you have specifically set yourself. So pay attention for that. And then I also do just really feel like this is the imagery that I got overall, just generally for like the Leo archetype out of the Akashic Records for 2021. You guys, and this is, just stay with me on this one, you guys are turning from the lion into the lioness. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? And basically my guides are like, basically how the lioness is usually the one that goes out hunting on the whole, that brings things back to the pack, that kind of has more of more activity going on in the external world outside of the pack. You are becoming that energy, and you're stepping further away from being the lion who's kind of relaxing and chilling out and keeping itself more in the background in the shade, while the lioness goes off and does certain work, or just goes off to hunt or whatever it might be. So I really see that life in 2021 is going to be really encouraging you to come out of your own shadow. Now, this is not shadow in terms of deep healing. I mean literally shadow in terms of you are sheltering yourself a little bit from all that you can achieve, particularly to do with a specific goal you might have. So when I say what specific goal do you have for 2021, pay attention to what pops into your mind, because that is where life is going to be encouraging you to really come out of the shade and go into the sunlight. You know, go out of that, like the protective space of the pack, and go into like the brave new world is what I'm hearing. And there will be, that's just a real focus for you guys. So if you find yourself resisting that at some points, just check in why that might be as well, because that will help you lose the resistance. And when you lose the resistance, the intensity of any situations will also start to fade away too. Equally, when you fully embrace that, and if you're at certain points, and there will be some highly creative points for you guys in 2021, if you fully embrace that energy, it's really going to, I'm just seeing like all of your energy field just kind of light up and hum is what I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing the imagery of hummingbirds around, you know, like a specific flowers. They're all gathering around and they're all humming together, and it just looks beautiful. There's something about you that's going to happen in that kind of way. People are going to get drawn to you, and you're going to get drawn to other people. But definitely anything that you can do to work on your one-on-one relationships, particularly I'm going to say around communication as well, because communication so far has come a lot out of the Akashic Records for everybody so far. And I will do a video describing all of the commonalities that have come out, so you can get an overall theme of what the Akashic Records is saying about 2021, regardless of star sign, zodiac or whatever. But yeah, I just really feel it's just really about communicating. The more you can fine-tune your communication on a one-on-one level, the more successful those one-on-one relationships will become, and that's going to have a massive impact on you achieving your goals, your status, your success, your career-wise, your life purpose direction, your passion, whatever that is. And the reason why I say communication is because we have Gemini, the North Node, which is where every life is pulling you. The North Node for everybody is in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini is highly communicative. So yeah, just pay attention to that. Cool. So I don't want to say too much more about that, but just before we go any further into your piles, I did this for all of the other ones. We're just going to pull one card to see what is the overall, I don't know, what does the Akashic Records just want to say to all of you together collectively before you split off into different piles for your individual messages. So Akashic Records, what do you want to tell the Leo archetype in 2021? Let's see what you get. Two of Swords. Okay, just give me a moment while I feel into that. Okay, so what I'm really feeling with this massively is I'm getting pulled to that middle part there. You guys, it's absolutely about finding the middle way, or like I'm hearing the sweet spot between two things, two people, two situations, two belief systems. It's absolutely, you've got to try and find this sweet spot. And again, I'm seeing those hummingbirds again, because I know hummingbirds really love like nectar and things like that in flowers, like the sweet spot. That is where you're going to find your success and happiness and soul's growth in 2021, to find the sweet spot. But I am also hearing, because it's about finding a sweet spot, if you find yourself in situations in 2021 where essentially it seems like there's conflict, there's two opposing views coming off, two opposing situations, like this energy of restriction and then wanting to rebel, that kind of energy. It's about trying to find the sweet spot between all of that. And the way that I'm getting that you will do that is by going inward with your eyes, with the blindfold. You guys just need to go inward. And I think this is where actually I'm hearing communication, how you communicate to yourself is really, really important as well. And then that will reflect out with how you do it on your one-on-one relationships. And somehow when the one-on-one relationships can give you messages and insights, which is super powerful to help you towards your goal, your career, your life purpose, your legacy, that kind of thing. So the main point is, we know this is all about the sweet spot. It's finding the middle way, finding the sweet spot, bringing two things that seem to be different, but bringing them together to blend and merge in the middle. And I'm getting that you really need to be doing this. The way that you'll do this successfully is by doing this on a real mental level. So you don't want to get stuck in your head, but you guys are unlikely. Leo energy is not really an energy that will get stuck in its head. So it's more, I suppose, using some real logic to whatever comes in. And when you start to feel like it feels a bit too much, don't just go into the shade and chill out and relax like a lion. Encourage yourself to lean in and go further into the unknown to do with how you're thinking about a situation or a purpose or your goal, your career, your life direction. That's what I'm really getting there. Now let's see, we've had 3 piles. So this is pile 1. Whoop, slipping. This is pile 2. And then this is pile 3. So the top layer is the stones from my shamanic meze, so we will channel into those. And then the bottom layer is unique crystals, which we'll channel into in the extended reading for more insight. So this is pile number 1, if you feel called to this one. And then this is the crystal. This is pile number 2, if you get called to this one. And this is the crystal. Just make sure you can see this, because this is quite an unusual. Okay. And then this is pile message number 3, if you get drawn to this one. And this is the crystal. Cool, so feel into yourself. If you get more than one message, also trust that. And obviously, as with all of these readings, trust you more than anything else that I am saying. If it doesn't feel right for you, honour that. Just be your own psychic Jedi master is what I'm just hearing. Anyway, I'm not sure what that means. Cool, anyway, let's just go on to pile number 1. So hey there, Leo. So this is for all of you that chose message number 1 as holding the info that your Akashic Records wants to tell you about 2021. So we will go into the crystal in the extended. It's really nice colours. I'll just put that to one side. And now we'll just first of all channel into the shamanic stone. Right, let's see. So what do your Akashic Records want to tell you? Okay, so the first thing I'm really feeling is for you guys that chose this pile, January, February and March are really important months for you. Now, if you're watching this afterwards, pay attention to what happened in January, February and March, because it's got something really significant to whatever is going on in your life right now as when you listen to the reading. I can really see this vision of, kind of 2 armies coming towards each other. But then interesting, I see this vision of these 2 armies coming towards each other, and it appears like there's going to be a fight. But then, you know, when they do that thing where one person from one side comes on the horse and chats to another person on the other side chatting to a horse. And basically those two people actually are able to come to a resolution. Again, this must be this middle point thing that we were channeling earlier. They're able to come to a resolution, which actually means that a really strong alliance ends up getting made between two originally opposing armies. But it was a lot of pressure on these two people, because so many lives or so much disharmony or chaos could have been caused if these two people that met on horseback in the middle between those two armies couldn't have come to a resolution. But they did come to a resolution. And I'm hearing that they came to a resolution because it was in their highest potential to both find that solution. And because ultimately, subconsciously and unconsciously, they both wanted to both move in the direction of their highest potential, therefore the situation was able to work itself out in that way. I'm also hearing that consciously they weren't necessarily thinking that this was something that they wanted to do, was to find a resolution or anything like that, but both of them did really want to win at life. They really wanted to succeed in life. It just so happened that the universe saw it as for them to both succeed in life at that moment. It was for both of them to basically find an agreement between them. So I'm hearing that even if you're not really sure what your life purpose direction is, or if in some points in 2021 you're starting to feel like you're unsure what's going on, what direction to go in, you don't have clarity about a goal, or maybe you don't even have a goal, then I'm hearing that as long as you just focus on wanting to achieve or wanting to experience the best that you can in life, that will help you pull you towards the answers and the awareness that you need to do with moving into success with your career, your reputation in the outside world, you having a legacy, you almost having like a hero's journey, but the completion of it, and you're sharing a part of yourself with the world. Your life purpose, your creative project. I mean, it's different for all of you, so pay attention to which one of those things flagged up in your mind as being relevant. But that's what I'm really, really seeing with this. I'm also really, really getting the vibe as well that a lot of you that chose this pile, I feel like you've been working on yourself for a long time, and the Akashic Records just want you to know that you're solid and firm in that direction. That work that you've done on yourself previously, whether it's self-growth, whether it's work in a partnership, whether it's work on a business project or your own career or your own house or your own family, wherever it is that you've put a lot of work in over the past 5 years, I'm hearing, you've got really, really solid roots there. And now it's just about, once again, I'm seeing that lioness energy in the lion. Now this is about you somehow, in some way that's different for all of you, engaging in that aspect of your life in a more daring, energetic, energized way, I'm hearing. And once again, that will be different for all of you. Now as well, I'm also just seeing the image of somebody flying a kite. And I'm actually seeing that they lose the kite because they get a big blowing of wind and it rips the kite out of their hands, and they run after it, but it quickly disappears. They feel super, super disappointed. But when they go home, something really random has happened and there's a person there. I think this is like a child, right? So when they get back to their home, they realise that some sort of relevant relative or a friend of the family has come round and they bought them a gift. And yes, you guessed it, it just so happens to be a kite, and it's a kite that is bigger and better than the one before. So I also see that as a metaphor that if suddenly you lose something, this loss can be anything, right? Because it will be different for all of you. If you suddenly lose something that brought a lot of enjoyment to you and happiness to you, then don't worry, because it will quickly be replenished by life in an even better and bigger way than before. So you don't need to worry. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, so let us now pull some cards. Okay, so here we go. Wow, flipped out. Okay, cool. Well, I opened that one first, see what it wanted to say. So, yes, we are reading reversals apparently. Oh, wow, we have a slightly different spread for you guys. Oh wow, I've not done one like this before. It's really interesting because my guys just keep channeling different ways that we're doing all of these spreads. So this is really interesting. Where do I want to go? So this was one that flicked out. Let's see what it was. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, pay attention to a miscommunication of a message, whether that's you misinterpreting a message or a message that you're putting out being misinterpreted. Then again, this is coming back to this whole thing we channeled about communication, and particularly in one-on-one relationships. Make sure as well, make sure as well that you don't allow intensity in a communication or intensity internally within you to cause you to blurt something out which you then regret later. Or if you recognize that another person is feeling quite intense, maybe encourage some kind of diffusion of that situation, or stepping aside just for a little bit to let that person calm down. Because I'm hearing that if things start to get intense in how you're communicating, particularly in your one-on-one relationships, there's a good chance there'll end up being regrets on both your side and the other person's side by saying things in kind of like the flash of the moment. So definitely watch out for that. And I'm definitely seeing watch out for that in the summer months, June, July, August. Just be mindful and careful of that. But I'm also hearing that January, February and March, I feel like you'll get a lot of sudden insights and flashes of realizations about yourself, about you in one-on-one relationships, and about you to do with whatever goal or like thing that you're really striving to achieve in your life. So really pay attention to that. And that's coming in with the Mercury retrograde in the sign of Aquarius in January, February, March. So do be mindful about communication then as well, with some sudden outbursts, okay? So then we have the Death upright. Then we have the Four of Cups in reverse. I really love these cards, I think they're so cool. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. I also love this Knight of Pentacles. Upright. Okay, and let's see what's going on here. So we have Judgment in reversed with the Four of Swords over the top. Right, so just give me a moment just while I feel into all of this. So what do your Akashic Records want to tell you? Okay, the first thing I'm really hearing is whatever goal you have wanted, it'll be different for all of you. It might be relationship goals, money goals, career goals, I don't know, health goals, whatever goal you have, family goals, don't give up. Do not give up. I kind of see with these cards here, you guys are, let's flip it off. You guys are so close. You're so close to getting some kind of breakthrough to with whatever goal that you've wanted. But I am hearing, for some of you, this won't be all of you, but for some of you, you've actually physically backed off to do with whatever this goal was that you wanted to, that you've really strived for. Like you're having a moment of rest, essentially. You worked really hard, now you're having a moment of rest. And actually, your Akashic Records are saying that that rest that you've taken, that respite, has been really, really important, because it's been allowing you to integrate things that are really relevant to do with whatever this is. And a lot of it will be working sort of on those deeper unconscious, subconscious levels. But I'm also hearing that, you know, you will need to take action again, decisive action again, to do with whatever this goal is, for you to get the final transformation of whatever this is. But I am also hearing that it's also really important that you don't rush that and that you don't force that. With the Four of Swords here, you can see this little bunny rabbit chilling out. I'm also getting with the bunny rabbit as well. Rabbits can very much have this energy of, I don't know if you know about Watership Down, that film. Love that film. It scared me so much when I was little. Me and my brother used to watch it all the time. But there's one of the characters there, I think he's called Fiver, and he has visions of the future or what's coming, what's heading, and it makes him really unhinged, and it makes him incredibly like nervous and almost a bit neurotic. So I'm also hearing that if you are starting to feel anxiety, unhinged by something, anything like that just feels like anxiety, or any kind of moments that happen quite suddenly out of nowhere, which leads you as like a rabbit in headlights kind of feeling. I am also hearing the best thing you can do is just take a step back. This is what I'm hearing. Go back into that lion phase. Go back into that lion. Go back to your pack. Go back to where it feels safe. Let the storm pass, as it were, and then go out hunting again as the lioness once the weather improves and the conditions are favourable for your success. And that will mean it in different types of ways. Because also the rabbits is a lot about fertility too. So I do feel as well this is a really good omen for whatever is your goal. However, I am hearing that you are on a journey with that. And this is all part of self-mastery. I'm literally hearing the word self-mastery. So this is about negotiating as well, I feel, when to take action and when to not. Essentially, when to be a lion and protect what you already have, and when to be a lioness and go out to seek treasure to then bring back to the pack. You know, it's the kind of that sort of energies that you're going to be going in and out between. And I do feel as well, it's interesting because we have 2 fours at the bottom here. So 4s are an incredibly stable energy. And obviously, Leo, you're a fixed sign. So you do have this real thing about wanting stability in some way. Now, definitely, generally with the energies of 2021, with this astrological cycle, which is specific of Uranus in Aquarius, in a very intense communication and aspect to Saturn. Oh, sorry, I've got it wrong there. Sorry, my guys are like, stop, wrong way around. No, there's a very intense communication between Uranus in Taurus with Saturn in Aquarius. And so you just be mindful that if any sudden changes or situations occur in your life, or even in your own internal psychology, let's say, again, it's about making sure that you don't react and you just allow that energy to ground itself first. Because also with these 2 fours, I'm also seeing the image of the Emperor in Tarot. And the Emperor as well in Tarot is ruled by Aries. So I can see that definitely passions and tempers could be running high, even if this isn't something that you express in the external world, because lots of Leo vibrations won't necessarily overly express anger in any way. But if you feel that internally as frustration, I'm definitely feeling this thing about frustration sometimes. It's definitely about letting that energy ground and pass. And I'm hearing one of the best ways that you can do that is by taking control of whatever that situation is that's caused you to feel frustrated. And again, that's pulling back in this image of like turning into the lioness and going out and putting yourself out there in some way, with also this kind of really determined attitude of no matter what, I'm not coming back to the pack without food, essentially. Like the lioness does that. And that's because I feel responsible for whatever this role is that I have decided to myself I'm going to take on board. So whatever goal you have decided that you want to go after, and this has been a long goal, right? This isn't something that you just suddenly think of in 2021. I feel like this is a goal that you've had for quite a while. It's about, in whatever way, taking even more responsibility to do with that goal. And I'm hearing responsibility as response-able, so taking some actual action to do with it in potentially a new way. And also I'm hearing for this pile, definitely, and I know we said it before, to do with the Mercury retrograde in Aquarius in the beginning months, January, February and March, but I'm also really just hearing that Mars definitely in the first couple of months of 2021 is really important, and it's really stimulating you guys to get those creative juices going and get this kind of, you know, that amazing inner confidence that Leos you can all have, like that total self-assuredness, which is just amazing, and it's super, super attractive. It's sort of bringing that energy in, but I'm hearing bringing it in an even more mature way than before. In some ways, it's sort of, you're going to be owning that kind of self-assuredness, and in a more grounded way that I'm hearing, because particularly with these fours, because again, they're stable, they're fixed, so it's sort of got a very stable energy, and I'm hearing it's about really having it really, really grounded. It's so interesting, I've only just noticed it. How have I only just seen this? So the rabbit is there, and also she looks like she's got a rabbit mask on, if you can see, and there's also another rabbit there. So again, this just is, I just feel like it's reiterating what I was saying before, but it's really important. And that whole thing about, if you've not seen Watership Down, watch it, it's awesome. You might find there's some more insight on that as well, on a personal, psychological, spiritual level. But yeah, I'm really, don't get that sort of rabbit in the headlights. Don't react in a place of reactivity whenever that occurs. And don't let anxiety or intense stimulation that becomes too much in some ways kind of throw you off track, is what I'm hearing, and make you do something where in the end you sort of regret it a little bit. So just be really mindful of that, because I feel like that message has come out quite a bit as well. But on a really positive note too, I can really see that with this Four of Cups in reversed, potentially some of you have been maybe missing out on an opportunity that the universe has kept constantly trying to give you. I'm hearing that for a lot of you it's been to do with a relationship. So maybe some of you guys have really been wanting a relationship. And I'm hearing that there's a really good chance for that to come in 2021, because it's something about your own self. Wait, just give me 1 second. What is this? No, what I'm hearing is it comes in when you start to get more relaxed to do with your emotions. And that'll mean different things for you in different ways. So I won't elaborate on that too much. But it's almost like the more comfortable you're getting with your own emotions, all the different range of ones, the more relaxed your energy field is, and the more inviting it is to a partner or a mate. And I'm hearing as well that for a lot of you, this could be a partner or a mate which has a lot of longevity to it, is very, very fixed and stable, and wants to work on things for the long haul. But I'm also hearing that potentially this partner will also be doing that thing of challenging you, will be challenging you to step up to be your highest potential. So that will mean that at some points there will be conversations, or there will be things that come up that as well will challenge your ego, your soul, and will even potentially challenge how you're going about achieving your goal. In fact, I'm hearing really strongly that's the main way it will challenge you. The relationship will challenge you to do with how you are actually going about achieving this goal that you have. But I'm hearing it will be a really, really positive thing, but it will trigger some things off in you, but in a really good way. And you will easily find a resolution as well, is what I'm hearing. It's not like this is a really big deal, but just be mindful that that is part of the process. The other thing as well that I'm seeing is that the opportunity, if the opportunity is not a relationship, or having a child, or your own creative project, then I'm really seeing it as very much again in that work environment, your career, your reputation in the outer world, you being highly responsible for a group, like at work or as your own business or something like that, then I'm seeing that there's a real opportunity that's coming in for you in that space again. And again, this is something to do with, wait 1 second, this isn't to do with your emotions quite like the other pile. This one is to do with, I'm hearing standing your ground. it's about standing your ground with something. For those of you you're more self-employed or your own business or whatever, it is standing your ground to do with the inner part of you that wants to rebel. You're just not going to allow that to happen. And that then changes your resistance to almost bizarrely like rebelling what it is that you want to do with, you know, your career, you know, all of that kind of thing. On some energetic level, you've been rebelling that because you've been rebelling an internal part within you. So as you stop rebelling that internal part within you, you stop rebelling whatever is in your external reality to what it is your goal is, and it makes its way to you. And this is it. The universe has always been trying to give you that thing that you want, but it's almost like you've just had to go through this, I'm here, a maturation process, about, again, understanding yourself better, understanding yourself in the world, and understanding yourself through one-on-one connections. All of that is this energy that's going to be, or has been, worked on you. I feel like it's going to be worked on you more, though, to be fair. So if it started to happen in 2020, it's climaxing more in 2021, to help you absolutely achieve everything that you want. But the universe is just wants to give you a few things here with this cup here, which currently this person isn't looking at. So I feel like in 2020 and some of the other years, and I'm hearing 2020, 2019, 2018, you've been going after a goal, and it's a real heartfelt goal, I can tell, something that you really, really want on a heart and soul level. But there's been part of you that hasn't been aware that the universe has been trying to give you something, and the universe has been trying to give it you because it wants to give you what you want. However, because of those things that we just discussed about rebelling internally to do with something, it's also rebelled this cup. Or equally, because you haven't been, if it's to do with more of a relationship, a feminine energy quality thing, it's just that you have, you've almost, I keep hearing the word rebel again, but it's to do with your emotions, because you've not been at peace. You've not been accepting to do with some of your emotions that you have. For some reason, it's also meant that you couldn't accept these emotions that would come in that are exactly what you want through a relationship that the universe has been trying to give you. So the more you make peace with those internal emotions, the more that can come in, that relationship or whatever can come in. And I do feel as well that, what would I say? I do feel like this could happen suddenly. Whatever we just talked about here, this could happen very suddenly. I do feel like a lot of things could happen quite suddenly for the people that chose this pile. And again, that's why I think there's so many rabbits. And even to be fair, that looks a little bit like a rabbit. I think it looks like it's probably more of a fox with its tail, but it's definitely got a little bit of a look of a rabbit there. So there's so much rabbit imagery here. I do really think it is about, because there might be a lot of stimulation, there might be a lot of sudden changes for the people that chose this part in 2021. It's being able to ground that energy, and again, that watership down thing on 5-0, not getting overwhelmed by the sudden changes of things that might be occurring, but they are all occurring for a really good thing. Now I just want to get a little bit more about this card here, about the Death card. Let's see, what is this about? Right, so what is that all about? What's this Death card about here? I'm hearing 3 cards, and we don't need any in reverse. 1, 2, 3. I'm also hearing as well that the easier you guys find it to find the middle way, as we channeled there and kind of looks like your spread, the less intense you will feel by any sudden changes, or the less intense you will feel in a situation that occurs in a one-on-one connection. So finding that middle way within you first is super, super important. And I'm hearing as well that with the Judgment card at the right underneath all of that, you already are you have already, like we channeled in the stone here, you've worked on yourself a lot. You do have really strong, stable foundations. This pile just feels so stable. Like we channeled it there. We've got 2 4s right at the very bottom here. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, super stable energy. There's something about you guys that does feel very stable, and it does feel very mature. But I'm hearing that there's the next level now for you to go to, and that's what 2021 is going to be pushing you, particularly in one-on-one relationships and to do with whatever your personal goals are. And it's about sticking with it and leaning into it all way more. Let's just see here. Oh, nice. I love the Sun in this deck. It is my favorite card in this deck. Often I see the Sun card as becoming enlightened about something, but in this deck, this one always just feels to me like a good omen. It always just feels like a really good omen, like a really good sign. So whatever this transformation is, it is a result of your hard work and your discipline and your effort, and it's going to bring with it many, many rewards in many different ways. And it's really going to allow your unique self and your unique energy to come out, and you'll be able to express that so much easier. And you'll find that so many more people are so much more open and receptive to you as well in that way. Okay, so then we have the Chariot. Oh wow, so another major arcana. So far the Death is confirmed by 2 more major arcana. That's really interesting. Okay, and then we have the Page of Blades, which is the Page of Swords. So interesting as well, you guys do have quite a lot of swords here. You've got Page of Swords, 4 of Swords, and Page of Swords here again. So we have 2 lots of the Page of Swords. Okay, so this is quite a clear message then. What this is saying about where you're going to get the most amount of transformation. And actually this already got channeled through, I think it was when I did the Cancer Akashic Records. I've been picking up on some just general themes to do with the energy that's been coming through in 2021, just because I've been channeling so much energy, like 3 sets of readings for each of the zodiac signs to do with 2021 in the Akashic Records. And it's been interesting. There's been certain themes that come up, and the more they come up, the more my guides are like, look, this is just a background theme on the whole to 2021. And that is that, you know, transformations and sort of death and rebirth and kind of working on yourself and transforming yourself, that kind of Scorpio energy of challenging and changing the depths of your psychology to turn from a scorpion into a phoenix in some area of yourself or inside yourself or in your life or whatever. There really is the chance now with the new energy that's coming in for the next 20 years with this Aquarius energy, with this Saturn conjunct Jupiter, which happens at the end of December in 2020. It starts a whole new 20-year cycle to do with this Aquarius energy, and equally we're stepping into a whole new 200-year cycle away from earth energy into air energy. And I've just channeled so much that this means that, you know how we grow going forward, it's not going to be growing through like digging into the depths of our like heavy stuff from the past. It's not about that anymore. It's about potentially having the choice that you can now transform yourself by paradigm shifting, and by paradigm shifting through seeing yourself and your life as unlimited. So it's very much about transforming through looking to the future, rather than, I feel like what a lot of the collective energy we used to do in the past was to look into the past to kind of like patch things up, to fix things, to heal things in order to transform ourselves to go forward. Now, I'm not saying that that won't still be a certain part of life, because of course it will. And also it'll probably take a few years, if not decades, a decade or so to really get into this air energy anyway. But this is where the future is. Like people will start to heal and transform themselves through looking into the future, through looking for a totally different answer to what they've ever had than before. And I really, really feel this as well for you guys. It's like really coming through with the Sun and with the Chariot. And also with this Page of Swords, and obviously with it coming up twice, we already channeled that this was very much to do with just watching out for communications that you have, particularly in one-on-one connections. They could be with a partner, with a friend, with a work colleague, with a boss. It could even be 2 CEOs from different companies coming together to communicate. But essentially there will be quite a lot of this thing anyway in 2021 of essentially two very different but equally very strong opinions and perspectives potentially coming into, I don't want to say a clash, but coming into an intense communication. Actually very much like what we channeled at the beginning about those two harmonies, and then the two, a representative from each harmony met in the middle and they happen to find a resolution. So there's a total amazing ability to find these resolutions from some apparently very conflicting, disharmonious points of view coming together. And yet I do really feel like a lot of your transformation comes from you being able to be more flexible, to belief systems and mindsets that you have invested a lot of energy in the past. Because whoever this person is or whatever this situation is, it's going to come in to disrupt that. And I see this with Uranus and the Aquarius energy. It is coming into be like a way shower to you. But if you react to it, or if you feel like you're taking it personally in some way, that is just going to cause a little bit more disruption and a bit more chaos. Whereas if you're open to the concept that might be, that what this person is saying might have some real gold dust for you. And actually, I'm also hearing this. Sorry, I've done so many readings, my voice keeps going. This actually could be what this gift is from the universe, but it comes in through what this other person, through what they're trying to say to you, which ultimately helps you change your perspective about something. And like I said, maybe change your perspective about something about your emotions, or how you rebel a part of yourself internally, something like that. So the transformation is going to be coming by being very, very open in communication and finding this sort of middle way between the two. Because again, with the Chariot, I don't know if you can see it so well on this one, but often you see the Chariot as two horses, a black one and a white one, being pulled in opposed, or they're both pulling off in different directions. But the Chariot, oh God, this is, my throat chakra is just like closing up. So I get that this might challenge you on some level to do with your communication of your authentic self, but also communication is also listening. So to also listen to somebody else's authentic self at the same time as that challenges your authentic self, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I say, two horses pulling in opposite directions, but the helmsman, the chariot, the actual chariot, the guy that's steering the chariot is directing and controlling and holding both of them, and therefore encouraging them both to go in a mutually beneficial direction, which doesn't just benefit both of these two horses, but it benefits the chariot as well. It's very much that sort of vibe and that sort of energy. So I'm also hearing this. You might want to look into stuff like, I think there's a book called, I know it's on the masterclasses because I do love those. I think it's Chris something, which is the art of negotiation. That's the other, I can really feel like negotiation is going to be really, really important for 2021 with you guys. But it really starts with you negotiating differently with yourself internally, which is really cool. I really, really like that. I just want to get one more for the sun just because I love this card. Let's see what we get. What's going off here? Also, that sun just really fits in with all of these flowers. So I just feel like whatever this opportunity is that comes through as a result of everything we've just talked about here, it's going to bear fruit for a really long period of time. And I'm hearing, because it really changes you at your core, and when you look back in 10 years time, you recognise that from this point it was really pivotal, because you started to take such different action to do with the outer world and how you engage with the outer world. So like, again, jobs, your creative projects, you know, everything like that. Okay, so we get 7 of matches. Okay, I love this one of 7 of matches. And this for me just amplifies the fact that, and I know this came out for another one of the star signs, someone, I can't remember which one it was, but you've worked on yourself for a really long time, and it's almost like you've collected loads of wood to burn a massive fire, but it just felt like you're just constantly having to collect wood, because it's like you never feel like there's enough wood. Like whatever you've done isn't quite good enough. You've got to keep going. You need to do a little bit more. You're not quite there yet. If you just get a bit more wood, then it'll be time to light the fire. And I really feel like the universe is saying to you, again, like the lioness and going out and hunting and putting yourself out there in a new way, it's totally time for you to light that bonfire, which is you, which is everything that you've worked on yourself. Just 1 second, so I'm just getting a message. Okay, so we just channel into these. They sound really abstract, but we usually get really potent stuff out of them when we go into your extended reading. It says the eyes look sideways. So we'll see what that's into. But that was coming off this, which is basically, yeah, so literally now is the time to light your fire, like light your bonfire, like everything is ready. You've done a lot of work. You've worked on yourself consistently. Yes, you need to make sure that you don't get overwhelmed in any way. Or when things start to get too much or intense, listen, honour that, step back a bit, breathe a little bit, take that space out, and then just commit to re-engaging back in it again. And I'm hearing that you are going to be like 3 steps forward, half a step back as you pause. 3 steps forward, half a step back as you pause. And then you're going to sort of gain compound interest with this kind of process of steady, consistently going after something that you want, but also taking some time to reflect. But then it ends up being, instead of 3 steps forward, half a step back, it ends up being like 7 steps forward, 1 step back. And so you're starting to make even more momentum. And I'm kind of seeing, it's like an exponential curve, that's it. So you know when you just like literally just see it growing and growing and growing, and the more it grows, the quicker and faster it grows. That's what I'm seeing is going to happen with you in 2021, which is awesome. And I think as well, that's why it's saying up this thing, this whole rabbit thing we keep going on about. I'm just hearing another message. I love this one. I don't know what this means. It actually says, it came up, obviously we were talking about rabbits. It says, don't follow the white rabbit. I have no idea what that means, but we'll look into that. But yeah, I think this is why the rabbit imagery is coming up, because there will be a lot of movement, there will be a lot of momentum. I mean, 2 lots of Page of Swords, there could be lots of people reaching out to you, lots of messages coming in, lots of opportunities coming in. I definitely see opportunities to do with like things that are very much online. So whether that would be, if it's relationships, dating online, or communicating a lot with somebody through like the internet, or if it is something like a job opportunity or an enhancement of a career that you're already in, or even something that comes about through having a stronger social media presence, whether you use social media for your job or whatever. I don't know, there's something about putting yourself out there. And again, that makes my throat all like tighten up. So guys, you don't need to go into the shadows to kind of like hibernate yourself a little bit. It's really time to really put yourself out there now. And as well with all this energy going into air energy, this is really beneficial for fire energy, because they always, in astrology, it's always said that fire and air are mutually receptive, like they get on really well together, so they're really supportive. So whereas things might have been a bit harder to plug you through earth type energies, as we've had for so many years, basically all the years that you've basically been alive, unless you're like over whatever it is, over 200, do remember like the energy is going to be shifting. And what I was saying before about paradigm shifts are now available instead of transformations, and although they're kind of the same thing, if you feel into the energy of a paradigm shift and you feel into the energy of a transformation feels vibrationally so much denser, whereas a paradigm shift feels vibrationally so much lighter. And this is what is coming in, and it is totally available to you. But also what's coming in is, what we said about this opportunity that you've been missing, that the universe has been wanting to give you, but you just haven't quite been a vibrational match to it because of those things that we talked about earlier. Whenever this opportunity comes in for whatever it is that you want, it's definitely, you have to take the advantage of it. it's almost like that you have to light the match and burn that fire. So it will come in as an opportunity, as a concept, as something like this. Something that doesn't feel like it's fully tangible yet. That's the way I can feel it coming in. But then it's down for you to kind of channel that new idea or that new inspiration or that new person in your life or that new opportunity into that like massive amount of wood that you've worked on collecting. And as you channel that person or that situation or that opportunity into the wood, you then have to light it. You've got to light it, which as I see as kind of bringing these two elements together. So again, going back to that image that we had here about the two representatives of the armies coming together, it's like life gives you the opportunity to come into contact with someone or a situation or an opportunity which will massively take you further to do with your goal, your life purpose, relationship goals, as well as, I don't know, money, career goals, that kind of thing. But you still have to say or do something which is a metaphorical representative of you actually striking the match and lighting that wood. It's almost like you have to say yes, is what I'm hearing. You have to say yes, that you are good enough, that you are ready, that it is time, and that you want it now. And that's kind of the metaphor of you, after all of these years of collecting all of this wood, now you using a match to light that wood and create a massive bonfire. And I do see this massive bonfire as the Sun card here as well, which we do know for you guys is a massive, like, amazing, positive omen. Such a gorgeous card. I love it. And also, you know, with the bird being there, again, I do really feel it all has got something around communication. And because I can see a flower there as well, it does really make me think it's this communication to the one-on-one relationships. And to be fair, we did discuss that to do with the astrology as well in the beginning of all the piles before we went into them. So yeah, just feel into all of that and see what makes sense. Cool, so now what we're going to do is I just want to pull a few more cards. We're going to get some oracles to add to everything. Okay, let's see. I can see as well, like from your spread, I feel like there's many different pathways, and I'm actually just seeing a vision of, I don't know if you guys have seen Indiana Jones, and I think it's the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he is, they've sort of kidnapped his girlfriend or whatever, and they've put her in like a basket, and they're in sort of Morocco or something like that, and they're running with her down all of these different alleyways and stuff, and Indy's trying to run after her to work out where she is, but there's so many different pathways that they keep crossing each other without realising it. I feel like there's something a little bit like that that's going on. So there is a bit of confusion to do with something within these areas of whatever is relevant to you in your life, with your goals or with relationships or both. But I'm also hearing that confusion is once again very much from this rabbit energy that we're talking about, through kind of getting either mental anxiety or body anxiety to do with the frustration of it not quite having come through yet in some way. So just keep a check on that. All you have to do is, it's not a big deal, just keep a check on it, that's it. Okay, I want one more here. And then we just want one more here. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, so we have, I am accepting. Yeah, I do think that is about accepting these parts of yourself, like not internally rebelling against a part of you, but accepting that part of yourself. But we'll go into exactly what that is. Love these cards. Oh wow, then we have the rising and we have Leo. Okay, so anybody here is Leo rising, Leo ascendant, whatever we're saying in this reading, it's super, super, super relevant in some way, as just a quick message that's come through. But obviously we'll go into that in more detail. Then we have here surrender with the seahorse. Seahorses do this really interesting thing. You know, it's the males that carry the babies, not the women. I think they're the ones that give birth to the baby seahorses, I think. Anyway, so we'll go into that as well. Then we have here lake and depth. Oh, Lady of the Lake. And then we have Lady in the Hearts. Yeah, I do really feel there's really something big about a one-on-one relationship. Like I say, it doesn't have to be romantic. You know, anyone that you are spending some one-on-one time with, or anyone that you have a one-on-one relationship with, this could be relevant. This could be who we're talking about, but you'll have to feel into it intuitively yourself. So what we'll do is we'll take all of this into the extended. We'll go into all of these oracle cards and messages and see what's going on. We will also channel this crystal, little flower, to see what additional guidance that we can get about everything. I really want to find out what this thing is about rebelling, this internal rebellion you have to do with a part of yourself. You might also not recognise it as a rebellion, but a part of yourself that maybe you don't think is acceptable, or you repress, or you don't like, or frustrates you, or I don't know. We'll look into that. And then we'll also look into these messages, which is the eyes look sideways and don't follow the white rabbit. And then last of all, what we're going to do is we're going to pull a message from the I Ching, which I will read out the book for you to just have your personal stamp on this entire message. The I Ching messages are so powerful. I love them, and they really give you food for thought. So yes, we'll do that. But other than that, I hope that you have found this reading useful. Please check me out on Instagram and Facebook. I'm on Abigail Grace Psychic. So I post lots of different things there. Also, if you anything to do with readings or products, and you can find me on my website at abigailgracepsychic.com. I also got blog posts there and things like that. And if you sign up to the email, then obviously whenever I'm doing offers and all of these sort of things, you will be first to know. Your email boxes are going to be really busy anyway in 2021 with these two lots of Page of Swords. And then also I have my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic. So go there if you want to find additional things on psychic resources, wellness, astrology, tarot, shamanic, Akashic, just that whole blurb of stuff. But it was amazing to read for you. Thank you so much. I totally feel your confidence is going to get amplified in 2021. You know, I think in 2020, it's been difficult for everybody, right? And I can see like you've not been able to light your fire basically in the same way that you usually would. But this 2021, you really can. But it's not like everything's going to be plain sailing, a bit like we see with like Indiana Jones and running after where his girlfriend is within that maze of things in Marrakesh. But what it will be is it will be an adventure, and you actually will enjoy it, and it'll become a real enriched aspect of you and who you are in the future. So cool. See you soon. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy one reading, one extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings, so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon. Hey Leo, so this is for everybody that chose pile number 2 as holding the message for what your Akashic Records want to tell you about 2021. So we'll first of all go into channeling from the stone from the Shamanic Mosaic, and then we'll go into this really cool crystal. It's like a snake's eye, it's something like that, I can't remember, in the extended reading. So we'll put it to one side for now. Cool, so let's see, Leo, what's your message? Okay, so the first thing, well, to be honest, before I even touch the stone, the first thing that I got really strongly from my guides is that for you guys, the energy of Mars is really important in 2021. So if you know where that is in your birth chart, that could be useful. But if you don't worry about it. What we're really talking about is the energy of Mars. So there is, let me just go into the energies of Mars, and then you can feel into where this is going to play out for you. So feel into your intuition as I say this. So there's a lot of fast, or there's not necessarily a lot of fast movement, but there's desire to move fast in 2021. Like, I can really feel that this pile, to be honest, this pile just feels really, it's a heavy fire energy that I'm feeling the whole way through. Not just the Leo, but the Aries energy and also the Sagittarius energy. So you might want to look at some of those other picker cards as well for both of those signs, because I can feel this really strongly. And I really feel like the beginning of 2021 is, it's like, it's a combination of like drive, passion, motivation, but also frustration. I can feel also this energy of frustration as well, because once again there's this desire to move and to move fast, but I'm not totally sure that the situations that you're in allow you to move at the speed that you would like to be moving. So even if things are actually moving quickly for you, there'll still be some frustration, because there's almost like a need to want to be there already. And I'm kind of like getting the vision of, I don't know if I ever used to watch The Simpsons, when Bart was in the car one time and being like, are we nearly there yet? 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 That's the kind of energy that I can really feel for you guys in 2021. So this real desire to get somewhere, and it is a planned destination. So I'm really feeling as well for those that pick this pile, you know, all of you Leos, particularly Leo ascendant, because that's where this astrology really makes sense with your ascendant sign. But regardless, like, this energy with Leo in the sky in 2021 really plays out between one-on-one relationships, but also your career, your life purpose, your goals, your ambition, your personal ambition for what it is that you want to achieve and succeed at and lay a legacy for. And I can really feel like this pile, you're going to have either already be in established connections that are important to you, or you're already in the career that you do want to be in, or you're already on the university course that's taking where you want to go, or you're already doing the business that is to do with what it is that you want, or you're already doing the creative project how you want. It would be resonate for all of you on different levels, so feel into that. But I can feel that for most of you, you're already really established and very, very clear on what it is that you want in those areas of either relationship and or career, life purpose, projects, goals, that kind of thing. But also I'm really getting this thing from your Akashic Records that no matter where you are at to do with that level, because there'll be a very small few of you that probably tune into this and are like, whoa, no, I don't know what I want with any of those, so maybe this part isn't for me. But what I'm getting from your Akashic Records is, yeah, but there's something within you that is very certain and very clear about what you want. And so if it's some of you that aren't aware that you consciously know what it is that you want, you know what, on a subconscious, unconscious level, you totally do. I don't feel like this is a pile of confused energy. If anything, this is a pile of frustrated energy because it knows what it wants, but it just isn't there yet, and it's taking time. That's the real sort of vibe that I'm kind of getting with this. And the other thing that I'm really feeling is, it's going to be really important for you guys to channel your energy in some way in 2021, because there's potentially going to be stop-starting type of energy, or there's going to be expansion and then contraction. So something will move the way that you want, and then there'll be a pause on it, or it will retract a little bit, and then it will move again. But you've got to kind of see it. Instead of it being frustrating or restricting in any way, it's more like the natural process of breathing in, breathing out. And if any of you are into a yoga practice or something like that, the way that usually you can get more out of a stretch or any yoga position is to use your breath to really work with both the inhale and the exhale. And that's kind of like what your Akashic Records really want you to know to do with your one-on-one relationships, and also any goals, your career, anything like that. Like, whenever it gets to a point where it's starting to feel like it's not moving the way that you want it to, go back to this metaphor about using your breath, breathing in and breathing out, to increase a stretch in yoga, because that is how you get the most out of the situation that you will be put in 2021 at some times. So when that frustration comes in, think about that process. And your Akashic Records are kind of saying, it's like within those moments where something gets a bit frustrating, if you can just do something to almost reset your perception, and that really could be anything from going out for a walk to meeting up with a friend to even a Skype call. Just something. You just need to stop what you're doing, do something different, consciously different, to consciously reset yourself, and then allow yourself to get distracted by whatever it is you've chosen to reset yourself with. And then when you naturally come back to thinking or the situation again that was frustrating, I'm hearing that you should have been able to stretch a little bit further in a metaphorical way, but in a more practical way. Like you'll have just started to get a new idea about how you can go about this situation to gain that little bit more movement that you're looking for. But I'm hearing that you're going to need to be kind of quite creative and abstract with some of this, but that it's all completely within your ability to do it. I'm also really feeling from your records that, now this isn't going to be a problem, but there's a good chance that when frustration sets in, sometimes some conflicts can come in somewhere. But I'm hearing if you learn to reset the frustration quicker, like what we've just talked about, then you'll find that a lot of insignificant conflicts don't occur because of that. I'm hearing though that if you feel frustrated and then at some point you realise you're in conflict with somebody, and I definitely think it's on a one-on-one situation, so it could be, but it could be anybody, right? It could be family, it could be work, it could be partner, it could be friends. It's just a one-on-one, so you and somebody else. If you start to recognise that you're going into conflict, again, what you really need to do is try that same process of resetting, doing something else, going away, and then coming back to it again with a clear head, because I can just really feel there will be so much of a desire to want to push forward, take action, move is what I'm getting. And 2021 won't all of the time facilitate that. It is even logistical. So the more that you can get conscious with this kind of energy and working with it, the better you'll be able to see around whatever situations that you get in. And I am hearing that there's like gold dust, and there's pots of gold, and there's Cupid arrows in that space where just as you get frustrated, you reset yourself. Those are actually, when that happens, know that these are the moments when essentially there might be some amazing inspiration that you get, either through your own consciousness in your own mind, or you just happen to meet into somebody who just happens to say something to you which is exactly what you needed to hear, or you watch something on YouTube and it has the exact thing that you're looking for. You know, it's that kind of energy. So I'm hearing that there's really big breakthroughs, very, very, very close to the energy of frustration. So at the same point, you guys have a lot of creative potential in 2021, but I'm hearing you got to be savvy about it. And it's really about, I'm hearing again, I've heard it through some other Akashic Records as well, this thing about maturity and self-mastery. You know what, self-mastery came out as well for pile number 1 in Leo, and I do really feel like there's this real element of self-mastery that's coming in, and particularly because, you know, as you start the year as well, I know even astrologically, and my guides are saying this is why they said Mars is important for this pile, astrologically, Mars, with the chart that I looked at, and I did look at it from the UK perspective, but either way I'm just channeling whatever, so just know that if you're hearing this, it's because it's relevant to you in some way, is Mars is basically right at the top of the chart on one of the major angles. Therefore that means Mars at the very beginning of the year is interacting with every major angle of the Leo archetype houses. So first house about how you see yourself in the world, fourth house with your roots, your psychology, your internal happiness, your lineage, your sense of security from an emotional level, and then your seventh house, one-on-one relationships, connections of all kinds, but on a one-on-one committed level, And this is also highlighted by your Jupiter and Saturn energy, which is really important. And then at the very top of the chart, midheaven, 10th house, which is also super important for you guys because you have Uranus there. In that 10th house all year, and that's where Mars quite literally is. So I just know that you guys are gonna, Mars is just raining down energy that's going to be changing the way you see yourself, changing the way that you, actually it's more about interacting with yourself differently. I'm hearing it's not so much change, but it will be a byproduct, but you'll be interacting differently with how you perceive yourself, interacting differently with your family, with your roots, with your lineage, with what you see as emotional stability, interacting differently on one-on-one relationships, one-on-one connections, and interacting differently with your higher calling, your goals, your ambition, your life purpose, your career, that kind of thing. I just can really, really feel that that is really, really important. But I am also hearing that you will have to dig deep at times as well, because, you know, whenever you're being required to go into this kind of place of self-mastery, well, self-mastery is like what it says on the tin. That's never going to be like super straightforward. However, what you can gain by going into another level of yourself to gain mastery will pay dividends for the rest of your life always. You just can't, it will just be a compound interest effect with whatever you do this year to do with self-mastery. And so I would just say, just feel into yourself now, because there'll be many of you, and see if you get an area of your life that flags up of being the area to do with self-mastery that you'll be looking at, or see if you get a situation that flags up for you, or a theme to do with what for you is personally your area of self-mastery in 2021. And wherever you listen to this in 2021, just know that the beginning part of the year, definitely, I'm hearing January, February, March, is really important for this pile. So I don't know what went off there. There'll have been something about your actions and that energy that we've talked about, that Mars energy that was coming in, that was putting pressure on you to move in some way, to interact differently in some way, and to make up a lot of ground is what I'm also hearing. But that could have sometimes led to some frustrations too, and sometimes some conflict, depending on how you work with that. But it's also really, I'm hearing it's like a volcano. So you know how once a volcano's done all of its thing, and then whatever, it actually ultimately ends up helping to fertilize ground at sometimes, many times on after, because it puts other, I don't know exactly what, but it will put some sort of nitrates or something it will put into the earth, which then helps. Sorry, I don't know the technicalities. I can only see the vision I'm being shown. And I'm being shown like a volcano that erupts, and then time passes by, and then where the volcano had erupted, like some of the stuff that it destroyed or whatever, there's now like leaves and shoots and buds and everything growing, and then this thing grows into this massive big forest. So whatever is happening to do with that, whether it appears life enhancing or not during those time periods, is actually sort of, I'm hearing it's setting the scene for your future abundance and like reaping the rewards of something. So there's something about that time period that was important. And also for you guys, there's something about when Mercury is retrograde in Aquarius, which I think is around those same sort of months, sort of somewhere around January, February, March, etc. That's also really important for the perceptions and the ideas that you start to gain. And I do feel like a lot of these perceptions will again be so close to that energy of frustration. So what I'm trying to say, I suppose, is the energy of frustration is a super powerful energy for you guys in 2021. So maybe it's about reframing how you maybe see that in some kind of way. But anyway, let us get some cards, because we also know from the first thing that we channeled for you guys that the middle way is really important, finding the middle way. So maybe for this part it's about finding I don't know, if the energy of frustration, if one energy is to get angry with frustration, another energy is to completely dissociate or pretend that you're not frustrated, and then the middle way, the third way, is the way where you kind of use that kind of intense creative energy, not into anger, but into a creative project, by not rejecting it, by literally transforming it. And I'm really hearing that. How are we going to do this? Okay. So let's see what we get. So Leo energy. 2021. What do your Akashic Records want to tell you? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so we have Two of Stones. Two of Stones has come out for a few pals then. Okay. Actually, I'm going to turn them all over. Oh, wow. Ace of Vases. That's really nice. Okay, so we have Pentacles, we have Cups. Wow, we have another Cups. So this we have Four of Cups. Okay. Another Cup. Knight of Vases. And then what do we have here? Nine of Blades. Okay. So just give me a little minute just while I feel into all of these. But I suppose the first thing that is coming out without me even really thinking about anything is there's definitely going to be choices around relationships. Just like boom, straight off the back. And that might give some of you, you know, that kind of like Nine of Blades is Nine of Swords. In this deck it's called Nine of Blades. So that, you know, that could give some of you that kind of that feeling of you can't sleep, you feel restless, again feel frustrated because you don't know what choice to make. And I'm also hearing for some of you, if it isn't choice to do with a relationship or a connection of some kind, I want to say that I'm being loose with this because there's so many of you. So it could be romantic, but it could be friendship, it could be work colleague, it could even be a business relationship, it could be a family connection, it could be anything like that. Okay, so there's a choice that you're going to be needing to be making about that. But if it doesn't resonate to do with you, to do with a person in any way, then it's definitely a choice about my emotional fulfillment. 100% I can feel that. 100% that I can really feel that. So I'm just getting something, so just give me 1 second. This is just coming in. Okay, and I'm also being told as well that for some of you, there is this choice when it comes to either the person and the situation or a relationship or your own emotional fulfillment, that some of you have actually been making connections or trying to emotionally fulfill yourself from something or someone that is not fully open just yet. I'm really hearing those specific words. They're really not fully open just yet. Because like, you know, all souls on earth, 2020 has been intense. Lots has gone off. You know, 2021 is still going to have its own real flavour, although it be different from 2020. We'll still be, you know, we're still carrying over some of that stuff that we're working through. So, you know, lots of people have gone on a kind of internal journey, and I'm hearing that either this person, whoever it is relates to you, is, you know, they're still on that journey. Because with this hummingbird, I'm really seeing the hummingbird here as on in shamanic stuff, the hummingbird is known to basically do the impossible journey because it flies incredibly far every single year. And I'm hearing that this person is still flying in the direction. They're flying in the direction that they do need to go. This is really important. It's really important for them and it's really important for you, but it does mean that they're just not ready just yet. So whenever you listen to this reading, that will have some relevance in some way. If this doesn't feel like it's anything to do with a person, then I'm hearing this again is something to do with you're just not quite there yet to do with exactly what it is you need to focus on for emotional fulfillment and for that long-lasting type of emotional fulfillment. And actually, it's funny because this image, in some ways, it makes me think of the vision that I saw in the beginning about the volcano, and then after the volcano, you know, loads of, you know, greenery and forest, etc. was grown. And this, to me, for some reason, this vase, it isn't being shown to me as a vase. It's being shown to me as a, you know, like a test tube. So, you know, when you did science or something like that, and you had test tubes that you did stuff in, and then you put them on Bunsen burners or something like that. it's kind of showing me that this is a test tube. So you're still experimenting and you're still exploring about, it's a couple of things to see which one resonates with you. You're still exploring something important to do with your own internal psychology. It's either something to do with childhood for some of you, something to do with where you live, or something to do with your own sense of emotional security. And I am also really hearing this emotional fulfillment. As well, I'm just being shown bluebells. And bluebells were one of my grand's favourite flowers. So I'm also hearing for some of you, it might resonate if it feels to do with family. This is something to do with the female lineage of your line, because I'm also being flagged up and shown the 4th house in astrology, which is all of those energies that I've just quickly rinsed under here. You know, you're still experimenting with something to do with that. And I'm hearing that this is very much occurring so that you can, what is it? It's like, so that you can basically almost, I'm hearing, grow a new body. But again, I'm hearing this more to do with, again, your perception of self. And it's funny because I know we channeled that Mars energy was really important in the beginning. Well, Mars is ruled by Aries. Aries rules the 1st house, about how we present ourselves to the world, our physical body, our physical appearance, like how we see the world. I'm hearing that because of what you're experimenting with, those things that we just discussed, whichever one it is to do with your psychology in one of those areas, it's actually going to be starting to very much change. For some of you, it's literally even going to start changing your physical appearance in something over 2021. But regardless, it's definitely all of you going to start changing how you see yourself and how you see the world. And that, I'm hearing, then has this knock-on effect, again, to do with yourself. Because this is an important angular energy in astrology that I'm talking about, or even a person's psychology, right? How they see themselves, how they see the world. And because it's having such an impact on that area of you, it then has a massive impact on all the other potent parts of you as a person, including your one-on-one connections, and obviously what you're here to contribute, your goals, you know, your ambitions, all of that kind of thing. I do want to say as well, don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed, if you can, to do with some things in 2021. Or I'm also hearing, if you do get overwhelmed, don't even worry about it, because it's just totally normal and natural, and anybody would when they're going through this kind of process of once again, I'm hearing that thing about, are we nearly there yet? Are we nearly there yet? Are we nearly there yet? And so, you know, for a couple of you, this won't resonate with all of you, but for some it totally will just hit the nail on the head. Some of you, there isn't even so much a frustration of, are we nearly there yet? For some of you, I'm seeing it as almost like excited anticipation. And actually this person, I don't know if you can see here in the image, how they've got their hands over their eyes. It's not because they don't want to see something or they fear seeing something. It's almost like because they're too excited to see it. Now that won't be for everybody, but that is the sort of energy that's also available to all of you if you're stepping into a certain type of space or a way that you're going. I just want to see, we want to get a little bit more as well about this hummingbird energy here. And by the way as well, because I'll just quickly say, with this 4 of Cups, I'd just be mindful as well not to feel emotionally disillusioned, or if you feel emotionally disillusioned in 2021 at certain times, it is also part of all of the process of everything that's occurring. And actually what I'm really hearing is, when you feel emotionally disillusioned, what I'm actually hearing is that on a deeper psychological and spiritual level, it's just that you're integrating things. So if it resonates with you, I have a video on my See It Like a Psychic channel called Integration Time. You might just want to listen to that, because it will make a lot of sense. I don't think all human beings, we don't always get this concept, and the only reason why I know about it is because my guides have told me. It's not like I would get it either, to be fair, and I certainly don't, because I have that thing of wanting to move, and I don't really like it when things stay the same for too long. But yeah, there is kind of this kind of process where actually, you know, doing, you know, when things, there is a downtime, and actually even sometimes when you feel emotionally a bit flat, that's just because actually on a deeper level, you're just going through and you're integrating a lot of things. So you almost want to see it as almost like your emotions and your mind are just being like the dial's just being turned down a little bit, just so that more energy can go into the unconscious, subconscious spaces of you integrating stuff. So I suppose again, it's like maybe perceiving emotional dissatisfaction, or feeling a bit despondent or disappointed at times in like a new light. Because for you guys in pile number 2, Leo, it's not because I'm not picking up like a feeling of actual dissatisfaction or all the usual things that you usually see, or emotional discontented like you often can see with the 4 of Cups. What I'm actually just seeing is, like I say, the deeper elements of integration going off. And I'm actually also hearing as well that's why sometimes you won't be moving as fast as what you think. It's just purely because on the deeper levels of you, you're integrating stuff. So you know what? I'm hearing from your Akashic Records, just enjoy that downtime whenever it is, and let go of what the goal or the focus is or the relationship aspect is or whatever, and just go and do some things that you just feel really good and have nothing, and this is the key bit, nothing to do with your goal. Do something completely different, almost like completely and utterly surrender to allowing this integration process to go off when it occurs at times, because I do see there'll be lots of stuff going off for you guys, even if it's just very much in that, well, everybody's mind's going to be going 10 to the dozen in 2021 at times anyway, because of just all of this air energy that we have. And then obviously because of the things that then lots of mental activity will then, as a byproduct, create in our realities. But yeah, just finding some ways to, like I say, with this 9 of Swords, to perceive some of your emotions and some of your thought processes in a completely different light. And you know what's actually just coming in, and I'm just going to say it. I just want to say, first of all, as my disclaimer, I'm nothing about politics, right? I'm just purely just channeling whatever I get from the Akashic Records. But I'm almost hearing, like, in terms of you perceiving like things that you usually would have thought as a non-positive, you almost need to look at adopting. Sorry, it's making me laugh because it is. You always need to look at adapting like Trump's kind of way of doing stuff with life. Now, I'm not saying if what he does is right or wrong, because, you know, whatever, I'm really not. All I'm just saying is I understand that he is somebody where he always turns everything into something which is positive for him. Like, it's just, he just has that mentality where he'll never ever put himself down, is basically what I'm saying. He never ever puts himself down. And I think that's the thing that's coming through here. Leo, you guys are friggin' awesome. Everybody loves a Leo. Everybody loves that energy. And just so don't put yourself down. Don't put yourself down. Find a new way of looking at whatever that is, which makes you feel like, I'm going to use the word invincible. That kind of invincible vibe. So yeah, that's what I'm really kind of feeling into there. Now, what I really want to see is a little bit more about this Knight of Cups. That's the Knight of Vases with this hummingbird here, because I feel like that's really important. And then also we're going to have a little more as well to see about the 2 of Swords and what is going off there. So let's have a look. Which cards should we do? Okay. Well, that's way too many. Okay, so what is going on with the 2s? Oh wait, sorry, just got a message as well coming in. Okay, so if you watch these, you'll know what happens. My guys just give me really abstract things, and then we go into it more in the extended, and it's just mental how they work out, but they're always really insightful. So this one just says, generosity is from the sea to the sand. So we'll have a look at that later. I've got no idea what that means. Now let's see. What is this? So I'm hearing we do read reversals with this one. I'm hearing we don't read reversals with this one. Okay, let's see what's going on. So, Okay, we have in this deck, this is the Nine of Cups. Okay, interesting. Pile 1 had a lot of thing about not actual cats, but of rabbits. Oh, wow. Okay, so now we have the Two of Swords. Okay, and then let's just see what's going on here. We have Page of Swords. Pile 1 had that. And also, we're not reading them in reverse, so we have Strength. Okay. Right, okay, so first of all, I just want to go into this here. So with the Two of Stones, which is Two of Pentacles, with the Nine of Cups in reversed and the Two of Swords upright. Interesting, this really looks like the middle way again. So you know how we talked about that and channeled it in the very, very beginning. Okay, so what I'm really getting is here is whenever some situations occur that make you, where you have to make a decision, or there's a choice, or I'm also hearing for some of you, there's a bit of an instability over something. Okay, so it could be any of those kind of things. What I'm hearing is, again, it's sort of what we were saying, but it's about just stepping back for a moment before making a decision. So again, this might be at times quite difficult because with this Mars energy, when we said it's all like go, 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 are we there yet, are we there yet, are we there yet? Again, there is this real need, a bit like this picture. I'll show you upright. To really kind of just step back, pause a moment. Just need to pause a moment. Because I'm really getting that a couple of things are actually coming through. One, that for some of you, when instability occurs, because naturally this is going to happen in 2021, when this occurs at some point, or when there's a choice to make, and we already did say as well there was something about a choice really early on, when there's a choice to make, there's something about not choosing either or option, but finding something again where it combines part of both. A bit like you can see in this image here. If this is one choice, one sword, and this is the other choice, the other sword, but actually where it looks like the actual abundance is right in the middle where the nest is. But I'm also really hearing as well with this moon here, you know, when you're making these choices or going into these situations, rely on both your mental faculties as well as your intuitive faculties. I'm hearing that that is really, really important because they both hold equal weight. But interestingly, what I'm hearing is, and you probably won't expect me to say this as a psychic, I'm actually also hearing, but when it comes down to it, if it's still it's difficult to decide or you're not sure what to do, trust the mental faculty a little bit more. I'm hearing that quite strongly because I didn't really want to say it because that seems to me a bit weird. But obviously I'm reading for you guys, so it's not really about what I think. And so I'm really hearing that. Rely on your mental faculty just a little bit more. That's really important. Because I do feel as well that also by you just taking a bit of a pause while, because with this being reversed, I'm not seeing it as the other way round or anything like that. I'm just seeing it as not quite there yet again. Again, there's this thing about not quite there yet. So are we nearly there yet? Not quite there yet. And it's more just that concept. If you can keep in mind with that essentially just by you taking a bit longer maybe to make some choices or decisions, you're just going to give the universe, your unconscious, your spirit guides, and just maybe a person or an opportunity a little bit longer to show you a little bit more of who or what they really are, or who or what is really going on. So there's something about this timing thing, which if you can almost hold your I'm also now seeing this Nine of Swords as kind of hold back on your, almost like, I'm hearing primitive reflexes. So if you usually have a response, and say like with me, my first response, and it's something I have to work with, is always to be impulsive and to just do something in the moment. And I'm actually seeing that with you guys, with all of this Mars energy, be careful with that, because you'll already have access to that very, very easily. So there'll be something really powerful in you kind of almost harnessing that opposite type of impulsive energy, and instead kind of really slowing it down. And again, I'm seeing that vision of breathing in, breathing out, and the yoga kind of thing, which then allows you to stretch further. So just maybe I'm seeing as well that vision of good things come to those who wait, the Guinness advert. I don't know if you guys see it. I don't know, depending on which country you're in. But it was basically where there was a surfer. There were surfers, and this one surfer didn't catch the waves that everybody else got. Like, he waited and he waited until there was an absolutely epic one, and that was why the tagline was just good things come to those who wait. And I'm kind of feeling that kind of energy with you guys as well. I do want to say this as well. It's not really like you're going to have to wait ages, but it's just like it just allows you to pause, hold long enough to just get a little bit more either understanding about something, information about something, or even just confidence and assertiveness within you, so that then when you do make the decision and you do take the action of whatever it is, you feel fully, like, I'm hearing full throttle ahead. Like, you just feel like you have your game face on, you have that total certainty. And again, I'm coming back to that real kind of like real confidence, real kind of confident kind of energy. So that is completely what I'm seeing there. Now let's just get some more cards. Okay. Oh, we haven't done this one. What I was really thinking about this is this energy here for me is coming up something a little bit similar that was in pile number 1. To do with relating, I really feel like there's this thing about communication. I just feel like it anyway for like lots of people, because we have Gemini North Node. Sorry, the North Node is in Gemini for everybody. So communication and perceptions and all of these kind of things becomes really important, and there becomes a bit of a focus on it. Again, I'm really feeling like when it comes to you relating to somebody, the communication is important, and not being impulsive with your communication is super important. So kind of like holding and biding your time as when to make the best call to say something or communicate in a certain sort of way. I just again feel like that is really important. And I do really feel to rush ahead is just something you just want to be mindful of. Obviously, the other thing I do want to say with all of this, because I'm reading for so many of you, always just trust your intuition, because situations and energy can change, and you are your own best judge in any situation. But I suppose at the bare minimum, then what I would say is when it comes to other people and connections and one-on-one connections, and I even think about this as like the connection with you, with yourself, and how you internally communicate to yourself. It's about doing it in this place of, I'm hearing the word security, like emotional security. And again, that's flagging up to me this 4th house in astrology, which kind of holds those kind of energies. And I'm also hearing that sort of in 2018 and 2019 and half of 2020, I do feel like some sort of situation probably came up which in some ways gave you this opportunity to really communicate with somebody in a way that you wouldn't usually. Like, you were traveling further with this person in some kind of way. Now, it could be it could be like physical, but I mean it quite metaphorically as well, that you were, maybe you'd got closer to somebody than you ever usually do, that kind of thing. Or maybe you got closer to an opportunity or goal than you ever usually do at work, or something like that. Or maybe you got closer than you ever usually to do with changing a part of your own internal dialogue. Something like that was occurring in 2018 and 2019, and it was designed to help you feel more emotionally secure within you. And there's something about that that's going to be coming through again in 2021, but I feel like it's going to be taking it on to the next level in some ways. So maybe just have a little flashback in your head now and see what comes up when I was like saying that to do with 2018 and 2019. This feels really positive, by the way. This again feels like self-mastery. It feels like life is now encouraging you to go on to the next level, to do with how you relate, and I'm going to say it as broadly as this, to fellow human beings. and it's allowing you to go onto a whole new level. For some reason as well, I do just want to say, whenever I see this specific strength card, this always reminds me a little bit of past lives. And I can't really even tell you why. I just always get this feeling of, I suppose, I can see different lives of this person coming out of her energy field, and that essentially she is amalgamating all the different parts of her consciousness into one solid space. And that's also what I kind of see with you guys to do with relating in 2020. You're bringing together lots of different skills and experiences and memories to do with relating, and this is all going to almost come together in 2021 in a certain sort of way, which allows you to, I'm hearing like really put them into practice. So putting all of these different aspects about who you've been in relationships, in many different relationships, broader than just romantic, but like family, with classmates, with work colleagues, with employees, with whatever it is, all of these different aspects are starting to come together and they're starting to click. And that is also why, again, coming back to here, you guys sometimes need some integration time, because a lot is actually going on. And so if it does feel like you feel a little bit emotionally drained or discontented, or you don't feel mentally stimulated, I'm hearing good, because you just need a little bit of this downtime to allow stuff to integrate, because there is a lot going on. And I'm hearing like there's a lot coming together, and that's also partly why some of you guys kind of feel this real energy of like, are we nearly there yet? Are we nearly there yet? And that will be coming up. But let's just see. Actually feel like two of these. Okay. Sometimes it's just so nice to get loads of cards out. Some of the decks are just so beautiful though. It's just incredible. Right, let's see what we have. So we have, I offer words of good intent. Okay, so this makes me think about communication again, and we've also got birds there and butterflies. So transforming how you communicate, but we'll look into that in more detail. Oh, I love this. I achieve with integrity. That really makes me feel as well about your goals coming together. But I also see that your goals are going to happen better when you're collaborating with people that aren't necessarily like-minded. So, you know, often you hear like find your tribe, like find like-minded individuals. I'm actually hearing instantly you guys will do really, really well to expand from that and to be actually more inclusive, I'm hearing. Oh, I love this. Tiger. Divine timing. Good things come to those who wait. No freaking way. I cannot believe it says that. Can you see it just there? Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Because what we were saying about that advert I told you about the surfers and the Guinness. Okay, that is so important, because we literally, that message has got reiterated twice, and tigers are so powerful. And let's have a look here. Oh wow, alignment. Great. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take this into the extended reading. I want to find out more about this whole communication aspect that's going off, and very specific to you, because I feel like this is going to it's going to unlock many keys and opportunities in 2021. But there's something specific about that, because there's a change about how you're doing it. We'll also then look into what this is about achieving your goals in some specific way and how to best go about that. Obviously we'll check out a bit more with the divine timing and also with the alignment. I particularly want to know what this is alignment to. I think we should find out what this is alignment for and to, and then obviously we'll go into this about generosity is from the sea to the sand. I wonder if that's got anything to do with that Guinness advert we were talking about with the surfers, but we'll have a look. We'll also then channel this crystal to see what additional information the Akashic Records wants to give you to help you basically enhance your 2021 experience regardless of what is going on. And then I'll also pull an I Ching card from the I Ching deck, so you can get a personalised message from the I Ching. I'll read it from the book so you can just get your own spin on it. And yeah, we'll just go into this extended reading just now, trying to take what we've got and just amplify it to give you everything that you need to know in this moment right now for this best setup for you for 2021, because everything is changing with the energy in 2021 on this astrological level. And I know astrologers say this all of the time, but this really is the starting of a new 20-year cycle and a new 200-year cycle, and both of these cycles are in air energy, which is very, very different to what I've experienced before. So cool, hopefully see you there. So you can find the extended reading and all of my other products on abigailgracepsychic.com, my website. I'll leave that for you there. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. I post lots of different things on there. And then also I have my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic. I do actually think, like, we've talked about a lot of these things, and obviously, oh, we've not turned that one over. Okay, I'll turn that one over in the extended. Sorry, I didn't even realise that. So we have a wild card that we'll turn over in the extended as well. But also what I was going to say is, with See It Like a Psychic, check out the integration time video, because this thing about weight and timing seems to be really, really key, and integration, and we've talked about that quite a lot. So if you feel called to, go there. But if not, it's my pleasure to read for you. Please just take what resonates, totally disregard what doesn't. Just make this reading your own, and yeah, have fun with it. And hopefully I'll see you in the extended. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy one reading, one extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for, so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings, so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon. Hi Leo, welcome to everybody that picked pile number 3 for what your Akashic Records want to tell you, Leo, about 2021. So first of all, we'll channel into the shamanic stone, and we'll go into channeling into the crystal in the extended reading. So we'll see what that has to say there. We'll just put that to the side for now. So let's go straight into here. So what do your Akashic Records want to tell you, Leo, about 2021? The first things I'm getting is it's important that you face things head on. And I'm also hearing initially that you also need to look at yourself from the sideways. And I'm getting with that, it's all just about seeing yourself in a new light is really important. And definitely seeing yourself in a new light to do with I'm really, even before I started going, I really just got this feeling that contribution is really important to the Leos, or the people that pick this pile number 3 in 2021. I'm really, really seeing Aquarius energy really, really activated within you guys during 2021. And when I say Aquarius energy, what I kind of mean is, number one, it'll be interesting for you Leos because it's opposite your sign. So you know, I often think that signs come in sort of not necessarily equal or opposites, but sometimes, and you have opposite you, Leo, is Aquarius. I'm actually seeing it's really about you stepping into way more Aquarius energy and almost focusing on that more than your actual Leo characteristics. But wait with me here, because it's not quite what it seems. It's more that I'm seeing, let me just show you the vision that I'm seeing. This is a metaphor, okay? So we'll work with it as a metaphor and then we'll take it from there, but it's totally, this is a metaphor. So what I'm seeing is that you, or not you, basically what I see is a vision of this. I see a king or a queen, and I can see that they have been ruling their land in a certain way, which they've ruled it in a way the best that they possibly could with all the information that they had, and they did this from purely their perspective. Because I'm seeing that they had people around them at the time that, although they were confidences, they didn't feel like they could be trusted, and they didn't really feel like they could connect with these confidences. So it really felt like they were constantly ruling their land just purely from their own perspective, because either they didn't feel like they understood their confidences, or they thought they couldn't be trusted, or they thought they had a different agenda. But the ultimate, whatever the reason was, they just felt a disconnect between them and their confidences. So ultimately, this king and this queen had basically ruled their land through their perspective only. This king and queen had done well, but they realised that things were now plateauing in their realm, and they'd been plateauing for quite a long time, and they really didn't know what to do about it. And then what I'm actually seeing is that one time somebody comes in, or the king and queen have a dream, and in the dream they hear it's really, really important that you get other people's perspectives, and that you find new collaborations that you can trust, that can give you sound advice, and that are experts in different fields, but they all respect you as well, and they all want the same common goal that you want, which is to do best for your land, to do best for your people. Basically, all of these new collaborators have a real humanitarian energy to them, and they see things for the greater good. And that's kind of like the vision that I'm getting. And how I really feel like this relates to you Leos, is that it's really about you guys now. I'm really seeing in the astrology chart, the south and the north node of the moon being really highlighted for this pile. So that's little Roop's drinking, if you can hear him. Such a cutie. He looks like a Leo with amazing mane, even though he's an Aquarius, which is interesting. So yeah, we've got little Roo who looks like a Leo, but he's actually Aquarius, and it's that Aquarius energy that I really feel is the way for you to go into. And it's very much about it is all about finding people who are going to come from almost a humanitarian point of view, that can give you different perspectives on who you are and what you're doing. And that is a way that I really feel you moving forward. It's like, if you have a creative project, if you have an idea, it won't work so well for you in 2021 to just purely try and create that and manifest that by yourself. It's all about you now finding other people that can support you in this project. And it's also about people that have this kind of really Aquarian vibe. So it's kind of, they're humanitarian, they look for the greater good, they see connections in everybody and everything, and they have quite an unusual and unique outlook on life, or a perspective of what you're doing. So they can kind of be quite maverick, and they have kind of an ingenious way of looking at things. I can really see that in 2021, this sort of energy is the energy that's really going to take you forward. So it's definitely about not having dogma to do with your own beliefs. And it's definitely about finding people or information, because it doesn't have to be people, it could be information, which helps you expand your perspectives and see yourself from the side and many different angles, so that you can start to approach whatever you're doing, and particularly your goals and your dreams and that kind of thing, and what it is that you want to achieve, that you can start doing it in a new light. And I'm hearing that this is particularly important for any area in your life where you feel like you've been stuck for a while. So this might be relationship, this might be family, this might be creating a family, and this might be a creative project, and this could be work, this could be your finances, it could be your home, it could be anything, right? But wherever it is that you feel like you're stuck, this is what I'm really, really getting, that your creative problem solving, your creative genius and your creative solutions are going to be coming from you interacting with many different ideas and perspectives is what I'm really seeing, and particularly new ways of looking at things. And that's why I'm saying it's a group of people, but it also could be information, and it really could be information. And obviously the beauty of the internet nowadays is, you know, we can learn so many things and listen to so many lectures or ideas on YouTube and other channels. So allow yourself to be, I'm hearing the word as curious, really, really curious. Let me just see what else I'm getting. I'm also really hearing that it's really, really important that you, whenever you guys might find yourself feeling stubborn about something, or feeling prideful about something, in resistance to something else, because stubborn and being prideful can all be really useful, but I'm just hearing that if you're feeling prideful or stubborn as a response to you resisting something or someone, it's really important that you reevaluate that, is what I'm hearing. Because I'm hearing that it's really important you guys really become way more flexible than what I've ever seen, or that you've ever seen before. And I'm really seeing like a circus, actually, with not just acrobatics but all of these juggling, and then like just crazy stuff going off, but everything's all so stimulating, I suppose. It's also stimulating, and it's so colourful, and it's so kind of, again, it's got this childlike awe about it with the circus, like what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next. And I kind of, it was funny because there was something about Pile 2 about when are we nearly there yet, are we nearly there yet, are we nearly there yet, but yours is more like, and what's going to happen next, and what's going to happen next, and what's going to happen next, because it's more you being so open to so many different people, scenarios, thoughts, perspectives, and everything. And I'm also hearing that, I just keep hearing the word as well, dogma. I'm also being told though that the Leo archetype isn't the archetype that needs to be most concerned about dogma in 2021. It's just there's something about sometimes when you have a dogmatic approach which will lead you into more of a stubborn zone. And this stubborn zone, see what's flashing up in your head right now when I say this stubborn zone that you have. It's something that's going off in your life somewhere, or it's a part of yourself. See what flashes up, because it will be different for all of you. That area, it's just about finding more information about whatever that topic is, or that aspect of life is, from a range of different specialists. And I really am hearing the word as specialist as well. So for example, if this was to do with a relationship, it would be, I don't know, reading some books, listening to some videos, YouTube videos, or I don't know, exploring some podcasts around people who are experts within that field of relationship. And also what I'm hearing is that it's really useful for you to explore different experts in the same field, but these experts have different opinions from one another. I don't know, there's something really, really important about you being exposed to just a range of different ideas from different people or different communities. That's just really going to, it's going to resurrect you in an area of your life, is what I'm hearing, because I'm literally like seeing a tomb, and it was locked, and now the cave door has been removed, so whatever was inside can now come out. And it's really kind of feeling like it's like going to resurrect a part of yourself. And I'm hearing that it's really going to resurrect the kind of that childhood, I want to say naivety and curiosity, but it's more like that childhood wonder, because again I'm seeing this circus again. And I just really feel with this pile like it's really important that you focus on, I don't even want to say what it is that you want, but it's what it is that you love, what it is that you love. And it really doesn't matter what it is, because it'll be different for all of you, but it's just bringing more of that into your life as well is important. Because again, I just keep seeing south node, north node, south node, north node of the moon. And in 2021, for everybody, the north node is in Gemini and the south node is in Sagittarius. But specifically in your energy field, Leos, that north node of Gemini is in your 11th house, and that's a south node of Sagittarius is in your 5th house. So 5th house is your own house, the house that you rule. It is all the Leo energy. And that's why it's kind of interesting, because you're being asked to expand beyond what you are and bring in some equal but opposite energy to you and to your life. And that's what's going to be enhancing you and giving you so much leverage. I don't know why as well, I keep hearing the words creative problem solving. I'm not really sure why, but that's just coming in quite a lot. I'm also not hearing, it's not like there's going to be problem after problem. It's more just, again, that you're using a new way of looking at yourself and life and how you engage with it to create, to manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest. Yeah, I'm just really, I keep hearing and seeing so many different souls interacting with you. And like I say, some of it is literally you watching them on YouTube and listening to what they're saying or reading a book, but you're really connecting with the essence of what that person is expressing, and it's kind of getting downloaded into your energy field. And then at night time, this is integrating into your energetic field, and then in the daytime you're starting to get ideas and solutions because of everything that you're absorbing and integrating. So I suppose it's being really open and aware of the sudden insights and ideas that you get. So I do also think on my See It Like a Psychic YouTube channel, you might find the highest potential of the Aquarius archetype really useful, because this is the sort of energy that I really feel that you'll be playing with. So if you feel called to, definitely have a look at that. But now let's pull some cards. Okay, let's go with these first. So, what do your Akashic Records want to tell you, Leo, about 2021? I want to do this a bit more different. So let's see. Okay, so the first thing, when we split the deck, we have Knight of Wands and the Fool. I've not actually done this like this on any of the videos, so let's see what happens. Okay, so the Knight of Wands is looking at the Fool. So what I'm really getting here is there's going to be an opportunity that comes in very fast in 2021 that will, oh gosh, we said what's meeting you head on. That was the first thing that came out. It's about you meeting something head on. And this literally, look at these two people. They look like they're moving at speed towards each other. But they're meeting both of them are going straight into something head on. And I feel like that is really going to happen to you guys. So whatever this is that comes in quickly in 2021 and it feels like it's hitting you head on, this is something where there's a huge possibility for you guys to expand through going into the unknown to do with whatever this situation is that occurs, and it will be incredibly healing for you. It will be so healing for you, and it's actually going to, again, liberate your mind, your thinking process to do with something. The only one thing as well that I'm hearing here again is it's just really important that you guys don't dig your heels in and play safe. I suppose, like we even channeled like with the circus is something where I suppose a lot of the acts that they do, like when they, I don't know, blow fire out of their mouth, or they do trapeze, like, I don't know, acrobatics, all of this looks quite dangerous. But the thing is, because they've practiced it over and over and over and over again, and they're so finely tuned to what they're doing, and they are a master of what they are doing, there is no risk to them, because I'm hearing the experience that they have has become part of their unconscious processing to do with whatever act it is that they do in the circus, and therefore it takes away uncertainty, and that uncertainty can sometimes cause errors to happen. So what I'm really fearing for you guys is that although when you go into things in 2021 where it feels like you're going into the unknown, it's really about you using the skills and the awarenesses and the abilities that you do have and applying those to this unknown situation, because I'm hearing that will help to give you stability within something that doesn't feel very stable, and that will help you go next step, next step, next step, next step, next step, until suddenly it's almost like you're almost the whole way across a rickety bridge, like between two massive ravines or something. So it's definitely about, again, there is this real thing about, in the other cards I remember as well, about you really, really engaging in life, and actively participating is what I'm really hearing. Again, facing things head on. And again, that imagery we had about you going from the lion staying in the shade to the lioness going out and hunting and bringing back. I'm really, really feeling like engagement is super, super important. Now I'll just pull these out as the last ones on this. Don't know why I did it like this. I've never actually done a reading in this way. So then obviously now what we have is we have the King of Wands, and I love this picture on this one, the Two of Cups. So first words I'm hearing is be bold, to do with love, be bold to do with connections, one-on-one connections, but be mature. Be bold, but be mature, and be respectful of boundaries, and ask for your boundaries to also be respected by what you say and what you do. I'm hearing that's really, really important. And again, I'm kind of hearing this thing about when you're going into the unknown to do with a connection or anything in that kind of one-on-one, even if it's a new business partnership or whatever it might be, I'm hearing that basically stand very firm, be very confident. Be confident, but you don't need to be assertive, because be solid, but don't in any way intimidate the other person by your amazing flamboyant energy is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing there's something about pacing yourself to do with one-on-one connections, where it's kind of like, instead of showing everything all in one go, and letting people see all of you, like keep a bit of the mystery going. Basically do a little bit of a seductive dance, but not a seductive dance which is playing games, not that at all, but just kind of like, I'm seeing like almost like a pot being stirred, and it's just kind of like just stirring and stirring a pot until the soup is like stewed amazingly and it tastes great. But that wasn't, you couldn't get the stew to taste that amazingly by just throwing it in the pan, stirring it, boiling it, and then serving it. You needed to stir it, you needed to let it settle, you needed to stir it some more, you needed to let it settle. And I'm kind of getting that sort of energy to do with you and your one-on-one connections. Of all types. So also, you know, if it's not a relationship, a romantic relationship, but it's more like a business type of thing, it's definitely that thing of like not showing all your cards all in one go. And it's also kind of going to the business partnership with almost like a story of how you see everything progressing. And I'd actually even say to do with a relationship example as well, like already have in your head how you want that story of your relationship to go, just so the universe has kind of got an idea, a creative plot. That's it. You need creative plots for 2021 for whatever it is that you're wanting to create. And I would definitely say creative plots to do with one-on-one connections. And that could be of all sorts, not just romantic, but obviously that's definitely romantic, friendships, work associates, business people, whoever it is that is in your life on a daily sort of constant interactive type of way. Have a creative plot for how you want that to progress in 2021, and also to do with your goals and your career, your life purpose, whatever it is you feel you're here to contribute to the world. It's also about having a creative plot for that. And allow your imagination to be fun and playful with it. I'm really, really hearing that too. I'm just really, really hearing that. And I'm also seeing that if you have a creative plot, like an idea of how you want things to go generally, don't be too specific. You know, be flexible, because we've already understood you being really flexible is really important as well. So be flexible with your creative plot, but kind of have an idea of sort of the beginning, the middle, and the end of what you're looking for. I'm kind of really getting that. And then the other thing as well, I have to say that I felt with this but I never got it out, is there's something really wise about you guys, you Leos. I feel in 2021 you've got the ability to bring together many, many, many different experiences that you've been exposed to over your life and kind of get them all to blend together to almost create, I'm hearing, a masterpiece. because I'm kind of seeing how the sun, which rules Leo, you guys, goes, obviously it goes the whole way around the zodiac every single year. You know, other planets, say like Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, it takes years and years to just move through one sign, so it does it very intensely and in a lot of depth. You guys with the sun, you get to go, energy gets channeled into you every single year from all of the zodiacs constantly. So I feel like you have so many talents and attributes available to you. And I'm also hearing that if you don't have certain attributes or talents available to you that are useful for you, the universe will bring people or ideas or information or resources to you that fill in the gaps that you don't have. But it's about you being open to that and being flexible enough to see it. Cool. Anyway, I want to put those away because that was just a quick thing that just came out all in one go. Because like I said, I've never actually done it like that, but I just felt like it. So that also tells me something about you guys, which is, again, there's going to be this opportunity for something in the spur of the moment to happen, which is probably quite left field to what you would usually do. But there's something about going along with it and kind of making it up as you go along and kind of trusting yourself in that kind of way, but also realizing that at any point you can, you don't have to be fixed to whatever it is that you're suddenly embarking on, which is new and out of the blue from nowhere. It might just be that there's something important for you to uncover through that beginning, curious, going with the flow, no inhibitions part, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go with it long term, although also many of you might too. But just be open, be totally open and kind of go with the call is what I'm hearing. So just see how that plays out for all of you. Whoa. No, well, it's too many. So yeah, just see how that goes for all of you because it'll be different for all of you. Okay, how is this going? Let's see. And then, I actually feel like we have one of these bang in the middle. As well, this pile is potentially going to definitely be challenged by something unknown, and it's not necessarily it's going to be a bad challenge at all. It's just that it will be outside of your comfort zone, but it's a really, that comfort zone will provide many fruits is what I'm seeing, because I'm kind of getting the image of cornucopia, but it is outside of your known, I want to say existence, or your known routines, or something known. It's not in what you know, it's in a space which is unknown to you, but I do feel like it will be revealed to you, could be revealed to you quite quickly, and then it's up to you to almost have that confidence to once again say yes to that call in some way. But you have to intuitively feel into this all for yourself as well, because you will be absolutely your best guides on this. I'm hearing that we don't read anything reversed, so that's interesting. Oh, so we've got it again. 2 of Wands, so we had that when we just did your mini quick reading. Oh, no freaking way. 2 of Cups, we had that again when we just did your mini quick reading. Okay, now we have the Hanged Man. Interesting. And we have the Death card, so don't worry about that, that's transformation. Makes total sense after 2020 though, right? There'll be lots of transformations going off. Wow. The World. So a completion also of a karmic cycle, potentially, but we're going to go into it more. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Right, so discernment as well, that's key. Now let's just see what's in the middle. Strength. I love this card. Also, I love this card for you guys because look, this is Leo the Lion in the Strength card, and that is right at the very core of your reading. Okay, that's super, super powerful. And also, I don't know if you can see the star in his forehead. Can you see it? Don't know if I shine the light a little bit. I'm not sure, but anyway, there's a star in his forehead, and this just tells me your intuition. Your intuition, really, really, really pay attention to your intuition. And I'm also getting the vision as well of, do you know something about the white lions? I think there's some white lions somewhere, as in on planet Earth, but they're known as being star beings or something, or they're sort of aliens from another galaxy or something like that. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but that's just what I'm hearing. And there's something cool about you either meditating to the white lion or watching a video on the white lions, or I don't know, just hold that memory of the white lion and see when it pops up for you in some kind of synchronistic way, because I feel like that's really, really important. And I really feel as well, like with this lion being right in the very center, this is really about you. I just keep hearing stepping out, stepping out, stepping into the unknown and stepping out, but stepping into the unknown and stepping out because you actually, I feel like I'm hearing like a wise soul, like you've experienced lots and lots of different things, and that is going to give you gravitas to go into any situation, even ones that you don't have a full appreciation of, because you've kind of developed, or you're developing an understanding of how the universe communicates to you and how you communicate to the universe. Or put another way, you're really starting to understand your own psychology, other people's psychology, and how patterns are created through psychological behaviors within your life and other people's lives that you're involved in. And this is giving you this ability to, I don't know, something, it's almost, I'm feeling something very regal. It's giving you the ability to really, that's it. Be like a real sovereign being, have a real sovereignty about you and about what it is that you're doing. Because even we did channel, didn't we, at the beginning, the thing about the king and the queen, and obviously them going about doing something differently. And then I do often think about the Leo as this regal energy, and that's the line is right at the very center of your reading. Yeah, I can really, really feel that. Okay, now I just need to get a bit more information on all of these different things. So let's see. So can we have a clarify for the death? We're just going to have a clarify for every card, I think, apart from strength. Have a clarify for the world. Have a clarify for the hangman, because there's quite a lot of major arcana here as well. You've got the hangman, strength, death, the world. So once again, this just tells me a totally new perspective, which gives you a rebirth or transforms you in some way, which completes an old cycle to do with who you were, and it starts a new cycle about who you are. And I do feel like this brings in different people and connections, but I also feel like it gives you more discernment in your life, and that's why you feel more confident to go into the unknown and look for different perspectives outside of your own, because you kind of feel very confident and secure within yourself, like very anchored within yourself. So if you don't feel like that already, that's something that I do feel is coming for quite a lot of you that chose this pile, or at least that's definitely available to you. Right, let's have a look. So death card we have with the 2 of matches. We have 7 of matches, matches of wands, we have 2 of stones. Wow, we have the world, so now I have the world twice. And we have the 5 of vases. And we have the chariot. Wow, another major arcana. Okay, let me just feel into all of this. Okay, I really do feel things are coming full circle for you guys. There's absolutely definitely enough. When I say these words, listen to what first pops up into your mind, because it'll be different for all of you. Something in 2021 is coming to a closure. And something in 2021 is also being seeded. It's almost like a new idea is going to come into your head, which is going to start the process of a very new beginning over 2022, 2023, 2024. So intuitively feel what you came up for, what was closing and what was kind of coming in, because I really do see like there's an ending. And you see with the world card, with the chariot, and the chariot just so happened to be on top of the world card, this to me really feels like this is something that you have been working on closing out. But I do feel like it's taken quite a lot of self-mastery, or it is taking quite a lot of self-mastery. And I do really feel like it could be to do with, it's either something to do with you in relationships, or it's or it's something to do with like, I really want to say, I'm just getting these words, how you make money. There's something about this that is coming into, it's something you're working on about changing. And it's like an old pattern and cycle that you have worked hard to change, and that is going to change now. It's funny, I kind of feel like I'm going to be reading yours in this kind of like triangle, and then they come like a triangle. So with this one, we then go into this one here, which is the Two of Wands and the World again. This is where I feel like this is this thing that you're going to be creating that's new. I can really see this. It's really something that you have been working on creating. Or at least in your mind, it's something that you've been thinking about for a very long time, but I feel like you felt a bit restricted about actually moving forward with it. So it could be something that you feel passionate about, and for some reason you feel a slight hesitancy with like bringing it out into the world. But I really feel like as this cycle gets closed out, for whatever it's to do with a relationship or how you earn money, this is going to change I'm hearing your confidence and how again you see yourself, which then comes onto these two cards here, which makes you feel more confident and able to take action into the unknown about something that you really do want to do. You know, when we channeled before, it's really important you do something that you love. This doesn't necessarily have to be something that you love per se, but it's something that you do really want to do. And you do feel like you would really enjoy doing, but you have felt a bit inhibited about doing it. And I do really feel with the bee here, it's definitely about something that you're here to contribute in the world. Because, you know, the bee spirit, the bees always work together. And they work, you know, in that kind of hive mind. They think of the greater good. And they will sacrifice themselves for the hive, as it were. So I feel like this could also be a bit of, it might require a little bit of a sacrifice on your part, or it might be that to get to this point you've had to sacrifice a bit. But this does feel like something that'll be incredibly well rewarded, because of all the World cards I've ever seen, this one feels so, I mean, it feels like new life rather than a conclusion or a completion. It feels like a new life. I don't know if you can see the hands there as well. It's like the hands are creating the connection to the bee. So again, you know, the hands makes me think of Gemini, because Gemini can rule the hands. But also Gemini is very much to do with communication. So I feel like this thing potentially is either something that's very much that you do with your hands. So whatever that might be, even if that was painting, or even if that was like some kind of like healing thing, or artistry, or even a building. I don't know, it's something like that. Or even could be metaphorically, something like you're building something with your hands, which makes me feel like you're creating something from the ground up. But the other way that it could be as well with this is, it could be very much something about communication. So it could be something about you expressing yourself in some way. And Leo does rule the fifth house in astrology, which is all about creativity and self-expression and all of that kind of thing. So it could be like singing, talking, setting up a YouTube channel, doing a podcast. It could be writing. It could be anything at all like that, but I'm really feeling that's the sort of energy that's coming through, and that you will have felt a bit restricted about it before, but you're really coming into your own power now, particularly in 2021. But it is absolutely, remember, like we first channeled in the very beginning, this is very much about you. You do best now by taking on board different people's opinions and perspectives. It's moving beyond you. It's moving beyond you and into, I'm hearing the field of human consciousness. Love that. I really love that. Cool. Right, so then this feels like it pulls me off to here, because it's like this diamond, or sorry, this triangle that's pointing downwards. So then we have here, so this all makes me feel as well, this is something you're very much going to be, you are manifesting. All of this is physical manifestation on your part. So then what I'm hearing here is then it goes to here, the Hanged Man, another thing was in reverse for this. So the Hanged Man and the Seven of Matches. So what I really feel here is, Number one, I do really feel you calling in. Your soul is going to be calling in other parts of your soul tribe to help you with what you're doing. Pretty much like what we obviously saw here in the metaphor of the king or the queen or whatever. But I do really feel like people are going to be coming in, and it almost feels like they're going to be coming in pairs, because I don't know if you can see this here. This is like, these match stitches come in pairs. And I don't know why, this feels like it's something kind of like biblical, kind of like ordained about these people that you're going to be meeting. Like they're an important part of your destiny and you are of theirs. Sorry, just give me a minute because this picture's really interesting. Don't know if you can see it. I do really feel like there is some form of a sacrifice that's either gone on or is going on. But it's not a painful sacrifice. It was more just like, okay, this is the metaphor that I'm getting. Or if it hasn't gone on, this is what could be occurring. I'm seeing the image of a poker match. And I'm hearing the words, a good poker player knows sometimes you fold with a good hand. I feel like you're potentially in a situation that was good and it was beneficial. And even though you knew it was good, oh, that's Roops. Hey there, sorry about that. I was just checking on little Roops. So basically what I was saying was, oh no, I totally can't remember now. It's just totally gone. Damn, that's the problem when you're channeling it in. It just comes and you just kind of like, oh no, now it's gone. Doesn't matter, it'll come back. It will come back if it's relevant. Just really feel this is everything that we were saying then about you getting a different perspective because of different people that you're coming into contact with, and this all happens as a case of closing out a cycle, which basically is going to in some ways enhance your vibration, your self-worth, your confidence, which then means that you start taking action to do with something that you're really here to contribute to. And because you're engaging in life in such that kind of, like again, like the becoming the lion from being in the shade to the lioness and going out and hunting, because you're really engaging with life, then life starts to bring many different people and situations into your reality, which then gives you a different perspective and way of looking at life and yourself. And all of this feeds back into the center card, because I just feel like it goes like that with the triangle, which enhances your own confidence. But I'm also really hearing it's not just about your own confidence, it's also about how assertive you become in life and how authentic you become in life. I feel like you're going to become way more assertive, but not in a forceful way, in a very kind of regal kind of way, just because you feel like that it is my birthright to fill in the blank, whatever it is that you've been really wanting to experience, or the thing that it is that you love, and you just kind of calmly step into those kind of situations and scenarios. And this as well will become very magnetic to other people. People will really like this feel about you, because you'll actually have a real certainty kind of feel to you. Like, despite things sometimes being chaotic in 2021, just generally, not just to do with you, I mean, but just, it is just the global astrology, you will just be engaging in like with an inner confidence, and that confidence will really draw people to you. And so I'm also hearing as well that if any of you people are leaders in any kind of way, either in a family, at work, at business, I don't know, whatever it might be, I can really feel that people will be drawn to you even more if you can hold that cool calmness when most people are going through uncertainty. You'll be highly magnetic to people, and people will want to either work with you, collaborate with you, be around you, be your friend, be your partner, whatever it might be, because you just have that sense of inner security about you, which will be incredibly, incredibly appealing and attractive. And then this then brings me to the next triangle, which I feel is this pile, which goes onto this pile, which goes onto this pile. So it feels like there's two kind of things going off for you guys in 2021. So this one we have the Death card, so transformation, and we also have the Two of Matches, so Two of Wands. And it's interesting as well, because I've only just realised it, this is also the Two of Wands. So you've got two lots of Two of Wands. Two of Wands for me is kind of like the initiation of something. It's like the beginning stages of initiating something, but it's kind of working on the process, and it's kind of like the inspiration of an idea. So I kind of really see that I feel like you're going to transform an idea that you've held for quite a long time. And actually it does make me think it is linked into what we said this was about contributing in some way, or what is the thing that you love. I feel that you will start actioning whatever this is in a new way. With the Death card, it's kind of like oh gosh, again, like what I channeled from here, it's a resurrection of something. It's a resurrection of an idea or a dream that you've held, or a goal that you've had about something that you really feel you're here to do as a soul. You're going to start to get as well, I feel like this like all pulls off it as well. You end something, gives you confidence, you then start to take action, whatever this thing is that you really want to do. You then pull in new people that will help you to do with whatever this is, which then makes you look at what you were doing here and the way you have been perceiving this in a completely new light. And it kind of becomes so you kind of resurrect the idea, or you bring new energy to an old part of yourself, is also what I'm hearing. And I do feel like this part of yourself is way, way more authentic. So yeah, so basically you start actioning something in a new way, which is almost like resurrecting something, because you're starting to do something in a new way. It could even be a relationship, going back into that space, whatever it might be. You'll know, because you'll intuitively feel it. And this means that you, in some ways, you've had to turn lemons into lemonades with whatever this is, about the resurrection process of bringing something back to life. Something that you've wanted to do, or a relationship, or a job, or a dream, whatever it is, you're kind of bringing new life to it. But the way that you do that is really interesting. You do it in a really mature way, because you do it by objectively looking at all the limiting beliefs that you had to do with whatever this was, that meant you kept it, let's say, you kept it in the dark, you kept it in the shadow. You didn't want to bring it into the light because you had some limiting beliefs around it, or you didn't feel like you were good enough to do it in some way, or you didn't feel like it would work for you in some way, or you didn't feel like I keep getting good enough to receive something in some way. But now what you do by everything we just discussed there, you then start to objectively look at how you were looking at this in the past, and you honestly see it for what it was. So I kind of feel like you remove illusions that you've had. You remove illusions that you've had to do with whatever this is that you wanted to create, that you wanted to contribute to the world, whatever that might be. Even if that is something like you wanted to contribute new life to the world by having a family. You know, it's a real wide spectrum is what I'm saying. So you have to channel into what it is for you personally, but you absolutely do look at all the limiting beliefs that kept you in a place of not being able to receive it, and you see it in a really cool, calm, clear light. And this actually removes resistance in your energy field, which means that then you become a vibrational match for whatever it is that you have always wanted to contribute and you've always wanted to do. And the reason why I say that is because, can you see here? Can you see the two of Cups here? So once you've recognised the limiting beliefs that you held to do this on the past, it then just leads you with Two of Cups, right? Two cups there. And then so funny, because after here to here, I said we go to this pile here, and this is literally the Two of Cups. But it's the Two of Cups with the Two of Pentacles So I feel like there's still going to be a little bit of a process of you truly truly opening up to what it is that you're wanting to contribute, what it is that you're wanting to do. But I do really feel like you're going to be well on your way, and partly that's because you're going to start meeting people and connections and souls who are highly, highly supportive and almost nourishing you and nourishing your goals and your achievements and where it is that you want to go. And I'm hearing that actually is going to make you again feel more stable in a potentially unstable environment, which then also brings us back to the Strength card here, where once again I said the thing is you're going to appeal to people like somebody who's very confident and stable even if things feel unstable in the world. And so that's kind of like how I feel this whole kind of thing coming together for you guys. It is really interesting. There has been a lot of emphasis on relating and relationships for all the Leos. So I do really feel like this is an important part just for you guys, you know, your guys' evolution as individuals. And you do also have obviously that Jupiter and Saturn in your 7th house, which is all about relating and relationships. And Jupiter and Saturn is where we're starting this new 20-year cycle. So it's really going to, I suppose, stimulate a greater evolution of how you relate and how you do relationships of all kinds. And so also what I'm hearing as well, if any of you find let's say romantic relationships more of a challenge, and this is only as an example, what you can actually do is look at previous relationships, romantic relationships, and see what are the common themes where, let's say, you trip up on, and then work out a way of how you can start to, how you would behave or what you would do instead so that you didn't trip up in those situations. You'll realise that involves a certain characteristic that you have to bring out of yourself, and then you can start communicating and engaging with other relationships with that characteristic that you've realised that you need to use in the romantic relationships. So you could start using, I don't know, let's say if you realised you needed to be totally transparent when you communicate about how you're feeling. That's something that always trips you up in romantic relationships. So then once you realise this, you realise, transparency with emotional communication is really important. So next time, say you're at work and somebody says something, I don't know, it sparks an emotional response in you, then it might be for you to just go and say in a completely transparent way, I'm feeling like that with that. Can we do it like this, because then it will feel like that? I mean, I know that's not necessarily practical, but you kind of get what I'm saying, right? You just start to communicate transparently in many different relationships, so that by the time you get the romantic relationship again, you've been able to strengthen that weak muscle that previously tripped you up in romantic relationships. Only this time you're well prepared for it, and you've actually even practiced it in your other relating and relationships. So once again, if you use that as a metaphor and then you substitute in whatever relationship is relevant for you personally to work on, and then obviously you work on working out what the characteristic is that was a weak muscle within you, let's say, and then you start using that characteristic, whatever you find it to be, in your other relationships to strengthen that muscle within you, and just kind of see how that goes. And that's just kind of one example, right? But this is kind of like the energies as well that I'm really feeling are coming out for you guys. And I'm just getting your message now. I don't know what this means. Okay, so we just get these channel messages that we go into in the extended. So this says purple is where the heart is at. I feel that's got something to do with your intuition, but I'm not totally sure, but we will see. Let's just pull some more cards now so we can get some more information. I do also feel like, because you are right at the centre of your reading, I feel like you have a lot, I feel like the universe is giving you a real, what is it you want? What do you want? it's like putting the focus on you. It's really putting you at the center of your life, almost like you're the real creator of your life. And because it's right at the center, it feels like potentially it's going to feel to you like you have more influence in your life in 2021 than maybe you might have had in other years, even though that might be paradoxical because what it seems like is happening in the outside world. But again, there's something about you having this internal stability and strength and solidarity, I'm hearing. I'm not totally sure what that word means, but that's what I'm hearing, to do with you, that actually is really, really going to work in your favour, and is going to bring you some sort of good fortune of some kind. So definitely by you accessing that part of yourself. Right, let's see here. Whoa, that flew straight out. Oh, springtide. These cards are beautiful. It's a very nice picture, so we'll just put it there. Okay, let's just get one more. Okay. Right. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have I am humble. That's a really nice card. I love the pictures on these cards. So then obviously we've got springtime there. Then we have frog. Oh wow. What are we saying? Stepping into your power. Don't take a back seat in your story. It's time to step up. I mean, no way, that's exactly what we were saying. From the whole, going from the lion in the shadow to the lioness and going out and going into the hunt. It's so important for you guys that chose Leo to be so interactive with life this year. I mean, like, so interactive. I can just feel this so strongly. You know what? I didn't open that one until the extended because I did it by mistake, but I think I'll just do that as well for you guys. So we'll just look at that one in the extended. And then, oh, creation, water. That just reminds me about what I was saying about have a creative plot, a creative storyline, or whatever we were saying. Cool, so what we're going to do is when we go into the extended, we'll channel this crystal to see what else wants to come out. We'll turn over this card. We'll go into all of these oracles and get more detail to pull it all together. We'll also go into the specific random message from your Akashic Records, which is purple is where the heart at, and see what that says. And then obviously last of all, we will choose an I Ching card, and I'll just read it out for you, and then you can take your personal message, because the I Ching are so powerful, and I just feel like that will really help bring all of this together for you. So yeah, there's something massive obviously about you really, really stepping into who you are. I can feel this so strongly, and what you're here to contribute, ending out anything that stops you doing that, calling in people that will support that, and you also sort of taking a chance in a new way to do with relating. I can really feel this. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that reading. Like I say, you might want to check out on my See It Like a Psychic YouTube channel the video for the highest potential of the Aquarius archetype. I really, really feel that because it kind of describes what we were talking about earlier and will help you open and access that channel that you have within you. Because like I say, it is just opposite you, Leo, in the astrological wheel. So you have a real ability to bringing opposites together to create something new is kind of what I'm really, really getting. So you might want to check that video out. It's the highest potential of the Aquarius archetype. I'll leave a link for that. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram on Abigail Grace Psychic. And if you want to get the extended reading for this or any other stuff or products or readings that I do, you can find this on abigailgracepsychic.com. So I'll leave all of that below. As always, take what resonates with you, totally flick off whatever does not resonate with you, and always, always, always trust you and your soul, because nobody knows better than you. So cool. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the extended. If not, it'll be great to see you on some more readings. See you soon. Bye. So thank you for letting me read for you. That was totally my pleasure. If you'd like the extended reading, you just need to go over to my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave all the links below. There's the choice for you to buy one reading, one extended reading, or multiple extended readings, and there's different packages that you can go for so that you can get the most out of it. Just bearing in mind that 2020 was crazy and 2021 is still very much a huge tipping point, and so much new energy is coming in. But when anything begins, there are always unpredictable moments. There's different things that kind of go off. So hopefully these readings, particularly if you use them in whatever way your intuition tells you to, you'll be able to get the most out of how you can leverage whatever situation you find yourself in 2021. Also, just bearing in mind that these readings are relevant anytime in 2021, and you can come back to these readings and you might find different numbers become relevant to you. So just be as creative and intelligent as possible with all of these readings so you can leverage any situation and you can do awesome, because I do believe we all can. Speak to you soon.